What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about new data shows that Xbox is utterly dominating PlayStation's storefront, accounting for 60% of quarter two's top 10 game sales spots. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Leaker shares update on GTA 6 Edition pricing and potential second delay. We're also going to watch a video from the real life fake wizard who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's got a video called Exposing Superhero Fatigue, so we're going to watch that later today. Also, Game Developers Associated decries financial censorship amidst the payment processor crackdown on NSFW games. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we have a little bit of Battlefield news because that's just shooting out left and right. As far as, you know, they're building up the hype. So many things are leaking. It's basically the boat is sunk because there's so many goddamn leaks happening with the Battlefield 6 stuff. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. The music that you heard in the beginning of the show, that is all written by me, made by AI. If you'd like to support the show in any way, shape, or form, other than hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, or becoming a member, you can go stream that music or also download that music. Appreciate it very much. It's on all major platforms, and the links are in the description. All right, what's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. What's going on, Eclipse, Travis, Ron Slusher, Sarge, Kylo, Argus. Did I say? Yeah, I got Rowick. Or I got Ron. Ward, what's going on? Big Mo. Jason, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. All right. Aku, what's going on? Let's talk about the first story. What's going on, Waterbear? First story. New data shows that Xbox is utterly dominating PlayStation's storefront, accounting for 60% of the quarter two top 10 game sales spots. This comes from Jez Gordon from Windows Central. He says, imagine this scenario. Okay, imagine this scenario. A few years ago, it's no longer PlayStation, but Xbox itself that is now the biggest sales force on Sony's own console system. I know a lot of people look at this and be like, yeah, Xbox is dead, but everyone's going to be going third party. Everyone is third party except Nintendo. Okay. And technically they're third party because they have their stuff on iPhones and stuff, but they haven't gone full third party. Okay. And then all the people, which again, I don't throw all of PlayStation people into this boat because the Sony ponies are the small amount of the actual people, and same with the Xbox on the other side. So more people are buying Xbox games on PlayStation, okay? Not than Xbox. Xbox players are buying Xbox games, but more people are liking Xbox games on PlayStation than PlayStation games on PlayStation. Okay? Which is a good business model because you have your competitor paying for your stuff, right? You're stealing time away from their own console because, you know, if they're playing an Xbox game, then they're not playing a PlayStation game. If they're not playing a PlayStation game, they're not buying a PlayStation game. So let's read on. The console war is over, with PlayStation seemingly victorious, or perhaps it's just evolving. All right, and I love this PlayStation, this console war that you guys love talking about, where even Phil Spencer said, what, 3 years ago now? Is it 3 years ago? That there is no more console war. They lost the war. They actually said it, but people love bringing it back up, saying that they lost it. Yes, we know. They know, right? They've moved on from it, and now they've evolved, as he's saying, right? It's no secret that Xbox hardware has been on a nonstop decline for several months, although PlayStation itself has also warned investors that experts lower hardware sales through the rest of the gen. Indeed, that the end of the generation is in sight, and it's probably only advent of Grand Theft Auto 6 that could also uptick console sales from PlayStation and Xbox until it injected new hardware into the mix. Microsoft and Sony both are working on new consoles, and the Xbox hardware plans, including the built-in Xbox-branded PC like Xbox Ally from Asus, as well as the true successor from existing Xbox Series X and S console ecosystem in the partnership of AMD. In the interim, Xbox has notoriously changed up its strategy, facing with growth cost and declining console user growth in general. You know what I love? Who was it? You're probably here. Who was it that argued with me that console sales are stronger than ever? Who was that? I'm sure you'll come into in the chat and tell me I'm still wrong. Where I said everything since 2007, 2008, console sales have gone down, right? People look at the outliers and say, well, Nintendo has sold 157 million copies. Yes, they have. But the total, if you take Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox as the industry is as a whole, they have less console sales out there because there's an average. For the 157 million consoles that Nintendo is selling, 38 Xbox is selling, and then PlayStation's in the middle, right? There's less consoles for each system for every life cycle. And now here we are. We're at the tail end, right? We're year 6 now, going into year 6 for PlayStation and for Xbox. And they're not going to break 100 million, right? And even if PlayStation does break 100 million, they're not going to break 120, 150 million. It's not going to happen, okay? Because technology is moving faster and faster, and they're going to get more stuff out faster, okay? In a post on Blue Sky, Circana analyst Matt Piscatella described the runaway success of Xbox strategy on PlayStation Store, revealing that the new 2025 Q2 sales data, which included recent PlayStation ports like Doom, Dark Ages, Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, and Oblivion Remaster, and Forza Horizon, pulling together a huge Q2 game market dynamic report, which includes at this chart amongst it, frankly, too many others. It's just I kind of stared at it for a bit. Piscatella continued. Wild times in the console market these days. Imagine showing these lists to someone in 2015. Okay, so this is Q2 top 10 selling games on PlayStation platforms, physical, full game, digital from digital data, sharing publishers and digital leader panel, ranked on dollar sales. Okay, number 1 last quarter, it was brand new, and Forza Horizon is the top spot. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remasters number 2. MLB The Show, which was 2, which is now 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is 4, stays at 4. There's also another Microsoft. Doom: The Dark Ages, which is also Microsoft. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is also Microsoft. Minecraft is also Microsoft. Then you have Assassin's Creed Shadows, Grand Theft Auto 5, Take-Two Interactive, and WWE 2K25. So in the top 10, you have one Sony game. One Sony game that is in the top 10 for the last quarter, okay? And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Minecraft games. But imagine people saying that Xbox and Microsoft is dead. Okay, indeed, it's hard to imagine a scenario from previous decade where Microsoft would come into dominant PlayStation-owned storefront. In a universe where playtime hours are increasingly squeezed out from forms of entertainment and forever games like Fortnite and Roblox, Microsoft acquisition spree of yesteryear has seen to pick up some forever games in its own, including Call of Duty and Minecraft. Encouraging to see the more traditional games that actually finish are also riding high on PlayStation Store, with Doom, The Dark Ages, Indiana Jones enjoying a favorable placement high up on the charts. So far, it doesn't seem to be a strategy that also hurts the Xbox console ecosystem either, giving Microsoft a win-win scenario potentially. Microsoft repeatedly says that the investors are legally binding comments that also overall playtime hours are up on Xbox consoles specifically, not down. If its strategy was also leading to Xbox users away in PlayStation, you expect that the number to decline, and it seems that PlayStation has taken notice of this. So gaming has changed for the better or the worst. It says, for all the success Xbox is having right now on paper, it's still opted into thousands of layoffs within the division over the past year. There's also still major headwinds facing gaming, particularly traditional style in gaming, and forced Microsoft's hand towards multi-platform in the first place. Well, they're just the first ones to do it, right? They're just the first ones to do it, and because of the first ones to do it, other ones are following suit, right? Even independent studios are putting their game on multi-platform, but they're slowly coming out. They might go to the higher tiers first, which is PC and PlayStation, and then they'll end up on Xbox, right, with the cloud gaming and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens, and we do know that PlayStation, I don't know what they are implementing, but we do know PlayStation is hiring someone to do third-party stuff. We know that they're going third-party with their live service games. We do know that their first-party titles are going multi-plat, going over to PC and potentially coming over to Xbox, sort of like MLB The Show. But we'll see what happens in the future. Gamers are less inclined to switch primary platforms than they also been in the past, owning a combination of digital lock with also the content save files. Microsoft's ability to find new users interacted with the ecosystem is limited, but it's also true that other platforms as well, as everyone competes for the same user. So gaming is also squeezed by competition by other addictive, and often free entertainment, including things like Netflix, YouTube, Shorts, TikTok, and so on. Circana itself noted that previously 40% of all playtime hours goes over just over 10 live service games. That's the most insane number, by the way. 40% of playtime goes to 10 live service games, right? I have a video coming out today on this channel at 1 p.m. about live service, love them or hate them. To cut through the zeitgeist and the noise, platform holders are also increasingly embracing a be-everywhere, all-at-once approach, with publishers like Square Enix publicly committing to multi-platform releases over time-exclusive deals. PlayStation itself is seeing a reality that despite having the smallest console install base, Xbox users are still passionate and highly engaged. The number in the tens of millions to that end is bringing Helldivers 2 to Xbox via the new PlayStation publishing arm, and it's also spun up job listings suggesting that even more games could be on their way to PlayStation to Xbox. It wouldn't be surprised if the slightest to see more PlayStation celebrate back the catalog Xbox platform in the future, and would also represent mountains of high-margin cash on the platform from users who also clearly have a little intention to quit Xbox and abandon their libraries. It'll be very interesting to see how good or bad Helldivers 2 does on Xbox. And if Helldivers 2 sells, I want to say, and again, this is just in my head, not in PlayStation's. I don't know what they're looking for, right? If Helldivers 2 sells 3.5 to 4 million, which I think it is, that will be a huge success for PlayStation, and they will move more of their games over to Xbox because they can capture 3.5 to 4 million additional people paying $70 for their games. Obviously, Helldivers is only $40. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if they see this happening where people on this platform that haven't come and bought a PlayStation, they will move more games over to Xbox if Helldivers 2 sells decently. Okay? It says, I had a thought previously that Xbox Latitude's strategy to bring games to PlayStation would be in Sega-like death knell for hardware. I'm glad he brought this up. Because I brought this up in the past. And I said, everyone thought, even Travis said that in chat, Xbox wishes they were Sega. And I'm like, Xbox made $21 billion. Sega made $3 billion. That's 7 times. 7 times more than what Sega did. Why would Xbox want to be Sega? And everyone thinks that because Sega failed, because of the Sega Dreamcast back in 1999-2000 era, okay, or the early 2000s, I should say, that's the same way that Xbox is going. Well, the difference between Sega and Xbox is, well, Sega didn't have Microsoft behind them, and Xbox does. 2, the internet is completely different now than it was when Sega joined the market, okay? 3, digital games now exist where they didn't exist before. So Sega, if they were still around, they would actually be well off now because they would have survived because they didn't need a system. They could have just sold stuff digitally across all the platforms, but they're just a publisher now, which is fine, okay? But Xbox has gone beyond that point, right? And I make this analogy all the time. Darth Vader and Obi-Wan are fighting in New Hope, right? Obi-Wan says to Darth Vader, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine. Xbox in this scenario is Obi-Wan. Darth Vader is the PlayStation, and Sony knocked them down, and they lost the console war. But Xbox became more powerful because now they are everywhere, okay? So that could also still be the case down the line, but Microsoft investing into hardware more than ever, while they're also embracing openness of the new generations of gamers actively want. The next Xbox is widely expected to support PC stores like Steam, and then an Epic game store. While front-loading Xbox Game Pass is stable ongoing on subscription revenue, that Microsoft has become the industry leader, and Xbox Cloud Gaming is also finding new users who also have never, ever considered of lofty upfront costs on the console. Okay? The ability right now on their phones, on TVs, Xbox Cloud Gaming should also shed into a beta tag later this year and potentially ramp up this marketing effort as well. Okay. Microsoft is now considered a PlayStation install base to be a part of their wider Xbox ecosystem install base, and those users are helping subsidize Microsoft's innovation in the cloud. Content is also owned by Xbox console hardware too. AI is undoubtedly going to have some role to play in some coming years as well, for better or worse. Gaming is changing, but will it be positive? As always, time will tell. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to see that you see this many Microsoft games on PlayStation and not enough PlayStation games on PlayStation. But hey, that's just this now. This is the metric now. Come next year, Sony might have 3-4 games come out, and then they'll be back up on the charts. This is not a one-all, end-all type of stuff. This is just showing right now in quarter two, there's a lot of Microsoft games on PlayStation, and they're doing very well. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Okay? Would have anyone have thought this? I did. But if anyone would have thought this as far as Microsoft would be more popular on a PlayStation than PlayStation games, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me scroll back up here. What's going on, Al Dente? Wonder Rose, good morning. Ray, what's going on? Ray says, the current gen machines are in a weird place. Power has straightened out, but the AI upscaling, ray tracing, and frame generation are evolving quickly, leaving the PlayStation 5 series behind. Sarge says 10, 10, 20. 10, 10, 20. Oh, it's 10, 10. You're giving 20. Thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that, Sarge. Best-selling game at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday on a full moon with a high tide. It's very true. Very true. El Dente says, it's the #1 movie in America. Big Mo says they also just extra pocket change in to my brand. Ray says, Xbox fans, PS fans, not buying Snake Eater next month because of Helldivers and Gears. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up Helldivers on Xbox. Just so... my son's at 10 right now. I don't know if he'll be interested in it, but if I purchase it for Xbox, we can share it, and then he can play it, and then we can, like, play together or whatever. But I don't know if he's interested. I got to show it to him. We'll see what happens there. Eclipse says, yes, you can play games, all right. It's also called Twitter. Every time I see a PlayStation fanboy playing a game, they also trash at it. Or they're also trash at it. Let's see. Who else is saying? Jason says, Sony still makes money off of the software sales. Mo, you also pay monthly for Game Pass, and how isn't it? Oh, you're having a conversation with Mo going back and forth. Travis says Xbox didn't invade anything. It's allowed into the enemy territory because Sony being Japan, it also keeps the enemy alive for honorable duel. I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, you're not wrong there, Travis, because if Xbox, remember PlayStation fans were blaming Xbox for the price going up because there was no competition. Remember that. Okay? But competition needs to be here. If there's not competition, then Sony can just do whatever they want. So we as customers need multiple businesses doing stuff, because if it was just one company doing it, they could say whatever they want, spend whatever they want, charge whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. And we as customers don't want that. We want options. We want as many companies out there making games, making consoles, doing different things, because otherwise we would get shitty products. So, morning, Ginger Prime. Xbox has been making moves. They're everywhere. Yeah. That was the plan. Eclipse says, so the adult, Travis, because you pay $70 for your games? Okay. Sarge says, you guys still don't get the dollar amount versus value of the amount that you're also paying for, including online services and games per month. Let's go on, Titan. Obi-Wan knocked himself down, and Vader just watched it in this case. Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying, Titan? In that where he says, you strike me down, we become more powerful, right? Xbox was a console, but now it's gone, right? It's not just a console. It's everywhere. right? It's on an iPhone. It's on a Google Android device. It's on a computer screen. It's on a television set, right? It's in the cloud. They're everywhere. They're like PlayStation. It's like Darth Vader just swung. It was like the fuck. He's like poking at the thing, going, "What the hell happened to Xbox? Where are they?" Z says, "Have we moved from sports and food analogies to Star Wars? What kind of analogies would you like me to fucking use? I can't use food analogies, right? I can't use movie analogies. What or sports analogies? The fuck analogies would you like me to use? You give me an analogy I can use, and I'll fucking use it. How about that?" They're also adding to Sony games being currently released to make sense, or make so it makes sense. Correct, but another thing is that Sony shifted, right? Sony shifted to the live service aspect. Remember, Concord should be here right now, right? Concord should be here right now. The other games that they were working on behind the scenes of Last of Us, whatever that multiplayer game was supposed to be here. The Spider-Man co-op game maybe should have been here. So the dominoes have fallen, and this is where we are right now with PlayStation. They're like, well, there's no PlayStation games right now because they invested in something and that didn't pan out for them. So now they have to do an audible, and which they're doing right now, right? Yote is coming out. They have other games coming out, but now the timetable has shifted because what games were supposed to release and be successful in their head wasn't. So now they're just a lull, right? There's just a lull. Xbox Game Pass was a lull for 3 years, right? Last year, they got a couple games. There was a sprinkle here and there. This year, everyone's like, yeah, Game Pass. Yeah. But you're 5 years, almost 6 years into the cycle of the new system. And now we're finally getting games on Xbox. Ginger says, oh, for sure. I'm not surprised. Most people like the ecosystem. They like the digital. There's also just like with the smartphone. Binds you into the system or less movement between the two. Let's see here. Mo says, I think I'm going to pick up Helldivers as well. Still haven't decided. I mean, I own Helldivers. Do I want to pick it up again? Like, right now I have it on PC, but my son can't play that, right? And I don't think the cross progression happens, right? And I can't share it because he doesn't have a PC. So I'm debating if I want Helldivers 2. Ginger Prime says it feels like the current computers have things like Minecraft and Fortnite. They're also games or also competing against these titans. Yeah, well, remember that the stat was that a couple months ago. I want to say like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. They're saying that. Was it 60%? Was it 60 or 70% of people that are playing games are playing one of these 6 old games with Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, right? Like it's insane the amount of people that are playing the older games like that. And you look at it, you look at the sales of PlayStation's Astrobot, right? Just 3 million in almost less than a year, or just a little less than a year, right? 3 million out of 70 million people that have a PlayStation. They're not buying the games, right? So what are they playing? They're playing Call of Duty. They're playing Madden. It's taking their time away from it. Jason says it's crazy. It's almost been a year since Concord. Yeah, it's crazy, right? And it was only out for 12 days. Only out for 12 days. Z says, good morning. I just coughed up a lung at the analogy reaction. Well, I'm just joking, right? Z? It's like, what kind of analogies am I allowed to use, right? Because everyone's like, oh, God, another food analogy. Ah, Jesus Christ, a sports analogy. I use a Star Wars analogy, which fits. Roic says Forza Horizon outsold GT on the PlayStation. What if have reversed happened? The GT released on X. Hold on a second. I don't think it outsold Gran Turismo on PlayStation. First of all, they don't share the numbers of what they sold for Gran Turismo on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. They just lump it together. There was something like 30 million units sold, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that up. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Was it Gran Turismo? Is it Gran Turismo 7? Yeah, okay, 14. Gran Turismo is estimated to have sold around 14.4 million copies. Now, we don't know if that's on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4. Is it for both platforms? Is it only on PlayStation 5? And I'm pretty sure, I'll be pretty confident saying Gran Turismo's outsold Forza, right? Now, outsold meaning on PlayStation, because Forza Horizon 5 on an Xbox is somewhere, and that's where I got mixed up when I said 30 or 40 million, is like 40 million with Game Pass and sales and stuff like that, right? But they don't tell you the actual sales number. No one tells you the sales numbers anymore. You got to figure it out for yourself. Sarge says blind support is not support. Actively voting with your wallet will move the industry. Let's get rid of the crap and make them work for the money. Eclipse says no, there's no cross progression. See, that sucks. Rorik says they may have gotten what they did, what I did wrong. I was also an Astrobot that did it. Or he says Xbox players fail to support Xbox studios, but when it's Sony, it's PlayStation Studio who failed the players. What is the logic? All right, let me read that again. Xbox players fail to support Xbox studios, but when it's Sony and the PlayStation Studio who failed the players, what is the logic? I mean, it's just this is the two sides though, right? The Sony ponies say that these guys don't buy their games over on Xbox, and the Xbox say that these guys don't buy the games over on PlayStation, right? But when you look at the numbers, when you look at the actual numbers of games being played or sold, right? So someone will say, well, you didn't buy the game, you're playing it on Game Pass. Yes, that's because Xbox is giving me those games on Game Pass. They paid for those people on to come to Game Pass, if it's third party, first party, whatever it is, right? As a consumer, I don't give a shit, right? Like if I go to a store, a club, I'm doing an analogy. If I go to a club and they're like, well, you could either pay $100 for entry fee or we're going to let you in for free. What are you going to do? Right? What would you do? Would you pay $100 and go, no, I'm going to pay the $100? No, you're going to like, I'll just walk in, right? So you walk into the club for free and then they nickel and dime you for all the microtransactions in the bar, right? Or you pay $100 and you can drink unlimited, right? You'd be like, oh, I don't know, right? Some people would be like, I would pay the $100 up front. And you're still paying, but just not as expensive as stuff, right? Or you get in for free and then you're paying for higher prices of stuff. Use a fat girl analogy. Everyone likes a fat girl analogy. Big back, big back. Ron Slusher says Game Pass is not free. Yeah, no, I'm paying my money for it. Everyone thinks it's like, oh, you're paying your games for free. No, I'm paying $20. It's like I don't know. If we all throw our money in together, we can get something cool. You know what I mean? You ever do that with your friends? You couldn't afford a system. You're like, hey, I'll put $50 in. I'll put $50 in, and then you share the console, or you share the game because you couldn't afford it yourself. Same type of style, right? They take it for a lower cost to get you in the ecosystem, and they're willing to do that because the longer you stay in the ecosystem, because they keep giving you stuff, they're going to make money in the long run because they're either making money off the subscription fee itself, they're making money off of the microtransactions, they're making money off people once third-party games leave the actual platform, they charge you, right? They give you a discount for, oh, I really like this game, I want to support the devs, so then you go buy the game itself. There's a bunch of different ways they're making money. Ready? All right. That's a perfect timing. I'm going to take a short break because my son needs to have some breakfast. I'm going to go make some breakfast for him. I'll be right back in about 3 or 4 minutes. You guys can listen to the song Nothing Means Anything Anymore for the industry. I'll be right back. Appreciate it.
You smile wide in the keynote light. Talk about passion, art, and pride. We believe in people in every voice. Right before they cut the staff, no choice. Your favorite game just hit record profits, stocks in the sky. Then the devs get pink slips through the door. Tell me, what the hell are we cheering for? Nothing means anything anymore. Truth's just branding dressed in metaphor. Billions that ask for more while burning down the hands that built the core. Nothing means anything anymore. They sell you dreams with a world premiere, but every trailer hides the fear. Crunch time silence, sleepless nights, so suits can shine in neon lights. They say we're like family, we care, we grow. Then toss you out for the quarterly show. And when you speak, they'll spin it again. Your feedback matters, just not to them. Nothing means anything anymore. Lies and layers on a showroom floor. They'll break the soul just to please a board, then clap their hands like they deserve awards. Nothing means anything anymore. We're not bitter, we're just awake. Tired of giving more than they take. If this is progress, then count me out. 'Cause all they build now is built on doubt. We value transparency. We're committed to diversity. We're excited for the future. Then lay off half the damn studio. What a joke. Nothing means anything anymore. It's all a lie wrapped in a friendly store. They kill the spark just to please the score, then wonder why we don't care no more. Nothing means anything anymore. So don't talk change if you won't bleed. Don't preach love if you lead with greed. We see the rug behind the doors, and nothing means anything anymore.
All right. Sorry about that. Let me see what you guys are saying here. He says Game Pass is free with reward points, though. Sure, but you're still nothing's. An English teacher of mine told me that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Right? There's no such thing as a free lunch. Someone's paying, but yes, you as the consumer, if you're just logging into Bing and you get the reward points and do all the stuff, your information's being given out, something's being given, so they're getting money in some way, shape, or form. Right? You might not be paying actual money, but you're paying in your info, in what you're surfing, in what you're buying, in what you're watching. Right? You're paying in some way, shape, or form. Ron says, "Why would somebody not want to play 300 games for $20?" Yeah, it makes no sense. But they'll go out, Ron, and buy those little emulators. They'll go out and buy those little emulators. They're like 1,000 games are on there. It's $100, and they'll buy it. Play it for 5 seconds and never play it again. Let's see. Sarge says, "Ron, it's trash. What's 300 games of trash, Ron?" Ron says, "Bing is the easiest way to get Microsoft rewards." Yeah, 100%. A lot of people know this. Ray says, "Time is money. Chasing points takes longer than just to work for the money." It's it, Ray. Like, no matter what it is, it costs something. Right? If it's costing your time, if it's costing you money, but whatever it is. Eclipse says, "Yeah, I haven't paid for Game Pass in a year with my points. I don't get it every month, but I never have to pay for it." Mo says, yes, it's 12K and at 13K right now. That's a good point, Sarge, right? Gamers will find the best way for them. Just everyone would be like that. Be like, oh, if I save up a coupon and do this, then I can get this for free, right? People will do that, right? Instead of, you ever see those coupon cutters? Analogy. You ever see those coupon cutters? They'll sit there and scour through coupons after coupons. They'll take hours and hours of cutting them out and putting what to what and doing all these things and doing all that stuff. And then they go to the store and they get paid, right? Instead of working a job where you get $20, $30, $50 for working, and then using that money at the store, they're taking the time, not making money, cutting the coupons out so they can get those stuff for free, right? Time or money. Time or money. That's what it is. Ray says, "So chat, Travis says we don't buy games. What games did you buy lately?" I just got 2 Yazuka games this weekend. Well, let's see. I purchased Dune Awakening. I purchased RoboCop Rogue City DLC. There was one more game I bought recently. So I bought I would last 2 months. I bought one game a month so far, and there's other games I bought, and then I've also played a whole bunch of games on Game Pass that I haven't purchased. He says, "Analogy time, Microsoft is the casino, and they win rewards to get the top tier of Xbox is not that easy." All right, let's go to the next topic. Next topic is leakers share update on GTA 6 edition pricing potential second delay. Now, we talked about, I think there's going to be a second delay for Grand Theft Auto, but as of right now, it's May 26th. Everyone's like, well, that's a hard date. It's a hard date. Yep. A lot of games put a hard date there, and then they get canceled, or they get moved, or they get concorded, right? If you guys like what we do, we just cover news stories each and every single day, Monday through Thursday, from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Leakers share updates on GTA 6 edition pricing and potential second delay. So Grand Theft Auto 6 will have at least 3 editions at launch. A known leaker has said that the additions to sharing the alleged UK price at the same source provided clarification or clarifying update the recent speculation regarding the possible second delay of GTA 6 among several other claims. Dun, dun, dun. Second delay. The newly emerged information comes from Twitter user Mealy a leaker with a track record that is also, while inconsistent, includes several high-profile scoops, e.g., although the reputation took a hit from some Hogwarts Legacy claims they turned out to be inaccurate, they previously shared largely reliable information about various showcase lineup. They were also the first to leak the existing of another LEGO racing game that also turned out to be 2023 LEGO's 2K Drive. On July 29, Mealy posted some purported information about GTA 6, claiming that Rockstar, much anticipated game, will be sold at least 3 different editions, Standard, Deluxe, and Premium. According to the same source, UK pricing will start at $70 for the Standard Edition, with the Deluxe Premium version retailing at $89.99 and the Premium Edition at $109.99, respectively. The higher tier edition will reportedly include early access to the game's online component, which we said, right? I think a lot of you guys also said that the standard game, the game itself, will be 60, 70, right? Or you guys said 70, 80, and then they would sell the online component. I said they would sell it together, if you pre-order it, right? If you pre-order it. But it looks like here that you only get the online / standard game for $109, respectively. So it's the first $100 game, right? So the high tier edition will reportedly include the early access for a component. Premium edition offering early access, then the deluxe. Rumored GTA 6 edition and their UK prices. Okay, so early access to GTA Online is $90, which is $20 more, right? So I think Krebsy is the one that said this as well, right? As we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about, right? When I said, wouldn't it be funny if they came out with like a $60 version, right? And completely destroyed the narrative that everyone else is talking about. And it says even earlier access to GTA Online for $109. So Mealy also lent further support in earlier rumors that GTA 6 marketing deal between Rockstar and Sony, claiming it will include a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 5 Pro console bundles. So there you go. That'll be a console seller. And we said, I speculated, I said, hey, they're going to team up with Sony. They usually have the rights over on Sony. Right, regarding the rumor edition pricing, reported UK price of $70 is accurate. The base game could retail for $80 in the United States. It says GTA 6 could reportedly slip into September of 2026. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to have to go find the video where I say I think it's going to go back into September, October. The leaker also has offered an update for recent speculation concerning a potential second GTA 6 delay. According to the information, the game could still slip into September 2026. Rockstar initially targeted 2025 launch, but most recently delayed GTA 6 to May 26th of 2026. The only previously leaked information about GTA 6 edition surfaced in January of 2025, when reliable Rockstar insider Tez2 claimed that the publisher Take-Two Interactive plans to sell GTA 6 online as a standalone title from day one. While they also reported that does not contradict Mealy's A's more recent claim, there is no direct overlap between the two. A's with the unverified information rumors also should be treated with caution. Even more organized, the credible source will reflect accurate details in the time, and the lack of official announcement leaves room for plans to change. So, what do you think? I don't know why they were delayed again. I mean, obviously, they're not ready yet. You would hope that's the reason they're doing it. Are they doing it to help the industry? Are they doing it to help sales, right? Does PlayStation not only pay, again, I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying this is what they're doing, okay? Behind the scenes, does PlayStation make a move where they're like, sales for consoles are better in the second half of the year? And since it's the tail end of this system, does Grand Theft Auto team up with the marketing rights for Sony, right? They do have the market leader in consoles, where all of a sudden, you have 70 million, 75 million consoles out there. Rockstar needs them to sell, right? You can't get to 100 million unless you get both consoles on board. And is it going to be day and date on PC? So follow me here. What if Grand Theft Auto delays just a little bit? And then at the exact same time, they release it on PlayStation and Xbox, okay? Maybe the Switch too, I don't know. But they push it back to September. That brings up the console sales right before the holiday sales. A lot more people have money during that time frame. A A lot of people don't have the money going into like the summertime or whatnot. It's the end of the school year. There's a bunch of stuff going on. People taking trips, right? But during the holiday season, people get more money. They feel more festive, right? So if it pushes to September, that gives them September, October, November, December. That's 4 months. Let's just say 6 months, because as soon as they announce that it's coming out for PlayStation and Xbox, the actual date, there's going to be pre-orders, bundles coming out. They'll make way more sales, and that's when you'll see the uptick go from 75 million to 85 million to 90 million, and then it'll teeter off, right? Because I don't see any console getting to where Switch is at 150, right? We had the PlayStation 2, and then we have the Switch, and we have the 3D, I think it's the 3DS, is the top 3 consoles that made over 150 million. No other console has done that. So I don't think the PlayStation 5 is going to do that. Okay? Obviously, Xbox is not going to do that. Maybe the Switch 2 does it, but we'll see. I think the price point's a little too high to get to that point. Okay? That's another downside to PlayStation as well. The price of the console is too high. But the bundle, that would sell. This game does sell consoles. So now they push it to September. Do they release it at that point, day and date, for PC? Or do they make 6 months later release for PC? Look, I think Rockstar knows they're going to sell the game. They know they're going to sell the game, and people are going to buy it multiple times if it's on Xbox or PlayStation or Xbox and PC or PC and PlayStation or whatever it is, right? They know multiple people are going to buy this. They're going to make a shit ton of money off of the online sales alone, hence why this leak talks about how they're selling it for 3 different versions, and you're going to have the standard, just the regular game. So people are going to buy the game, then they're going to see the hype of the online aspect for the role-playing and whatnot, and then people dish out the other $20 or $30, right? So it'll be interesting to see, but it does say early access to GTA Online. So does that mean the standard edition still gets online, but you can't get into online unless you get the deluxe edition or premium edition, right? So let's say, go with this statement here first. Let's say the game comes out in May, like it says, May 26th. But if you get the deluxe edition or premium edition, you get the early access online. That also comes out May 26th. Or the standard edition doesn't come out like for online access until September. All things that could be possible. But let me know what you guys think. Right? These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Do you think Grand Theft Auto is going to release on May 26th? Do you think that they're going to release the online the exact same time? They didn't do it for Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto 4 when they had that little multiplayer type of thing. Do you think they release at the same time, or they do something where they space it out a month or two? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. And do you think it might get pushed back to September? Again, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. So what do you guys think? Do you think Grand Theft Auto? Do you think Grand Theft Auto gets pushed back to September? Do you think Grand Theft Auto Online comes out this same day and date as the standardized game? Ray says GTA 6 needs a lot of work because the Series S users will cry if it isn't optimized for PlayStation Pro users will cry if it's unstable frame rate. Albany says, a reminder, Outlaws had 129 premium. I expected a 199 GTA 6 edition. Still could get it. Still could get it. Remember, these are just rumors and speculations, right? There could be 100% a $200 edition. Jason says, I hope there's some sort of balance or performance mode. Sarge says, Albany, preach enough with the 30 frames, 60 frames per second bullshit. Travis says, GTA 6 coming never. Sarge says, they have a year. They aren't talking about price at all. Get the fuck out of here. Sarge says, also, bro, if they waited until 2027, then there will be a 30-year anniversary. They could wait another year, no problem. GTA 5 pays the bills, kid. And they will also wait to sell a monster of a 30-year anniversary. I think they're I don't think they'll wait for the 30th anniversary because they could just do an event in the online for 30th anniversary. There was another point I wanted to make. and I can't think of it now. I just saw what you said, and it brought it back in my head, and then I lost it again. Wait till 2027, the 30-year anniversary. Could also wait for another year. No problem. I just think that, I mean, obviously Rockstar, whenever they want to come out, they're going to sell regardless. It doesn't matter if they delay 2 years. When it comes out, it will sell like a shit ton of copies. Ray says the Switch is hard to beat when also the owners have the Switch on every color of the rainbow. I have 2 friends who owns over 5 Switches. Yeah, well, I think there's always that. I think there's always the 1% of the people always buy that they buy them for, like, the people that buy the different color controllers and stuff like that, you know, or shoes or anything. You know, there's always that small percentage. Jason says Nintendo fans are a different breed. I have a friend who owns all the amiibos for Smash Brothers. There you go. Albany says, how about telling PC gamers a date? That's not going to happen. Right now, you have to assume that it's not going to happen day and date. Right? It comes out on consoles usually, and then PC. You have to assume that that's how it's been, so that's how it's going to be. It'd be very surprising if they come out with PC day and date, but who knows? Ray says, Sarge, Switch Lite, Switch OLED, Switch Zelda, Switch Lite, but this time it's yellow. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that's what it is. As soon as I read your thing, milk, bread, soda, games, money. Also, there's new consoles coming out in 2027, right? I completely forgot about this, right? So there's potential new consoles coming out in 2027. Well, guess what? Grand Theft Auto wants to be at the tail end of this console cycle. Because if they're at the tail end of this console cycle, not only are you buying it for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Pro, the Xbox Series S and X, and PC, but then you have the next generation consoles, the PlayStation 6, the Xbox Next, whatever the fuck it's called, okay? And then you're going to buy it again. So that is why I think they're going to push it back to September, because it's even closer to the tail end. So you're going to get the people that buy it right away, super hyped. 6 months later, they're going to start talking about in February of 2026 about the new console that's coming out in 2027. So that is another reason I think Grand Theft Auto gets pushed back down to September, to the end of the year. But who knows? Who knows? We'll find out. All right, this next story, these are just quick ones. Okay, we have a story about next story is EA isn't raising prices on its games, including Battlefield 6. Now, this is actually a smart move by EA, right? Smart move by EA. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Make sure you hit that like button, though. That's a big thing. If you're here hanging out, if you're here for a minute, if you're here for 10 minutes, if you're here for an hour, if you're here for an hour and a half, what the fuck are you not hitting the like button for? Why are you here? Why are you here? If you don't like it, why are you here? Hit the like button if you like it, right? So EA isn't raising prices on its games, including Battlefield 6. With Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal happening this week, which is tomorrow. So basically, we're going to watch that tomorrow live. I believe it happens at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So along with that, likely details on when the pre-orders will open, fans have been wondering what the price of the game will be. While many expected there would be a higher price, Phantom Edition, there has been no confirmation of the Standard Edition pricing. That said, it looks, though, that EA will be sticking with the $70 price point for Battlefield 6 when it launches. Okay? During the company's latest earnings call on Tuesday, CEO Android Wilson, okay, has asked about game prices jumping up to $80 and its competitors. Wilson said that the company isn't looking at making any changes on pricing at this stage. Didn't they raise the price for the football games? Or are they still at $70? Right? I don't understand. Didn't they raise the price for that? Or am I imagining that? Maybe I imagined that. Oh, know what it was? They were selling both games for $80, right? Like combined, college and Madden for $80. Wasn't that the thing? So it says, quote, That's in constructive already offered fairly broader pricing schemes across the various products, Wilson said. When you think about everything from free-to-play, though, through the premium products and deluxe editions, orientation is always to capture the full spectrum of pricing so that we can get to serve the players in the best way possible and offer them the greatest value. Can we just break that down for a second? I love that the fact that the reason, okay, it says when you think about everything from free-to-play through our premium products and deluxe editions, our orientation is always to capture the full spectrum, right? They're doing it for you guys. They're doing it for you. They don't want to put more inside the game. They want to make sure they charge you more for very little, right? It's like the game itself is $60, but they're making it $70. But then they added like a couple skins, maybe early access, and they charge half the price of the game than originally, okay? And they make it $100 because they're doing it for you. They know that you're asking for it, and that's what they're doing. So it says, we'll continue to look at the opportunities to deliver great value to our players through various pricing schemes over the course of a time, but no dramatic changes planned yet. Alongside EA's decision to keep the standard pricing should be $60, by the way, not $70, where it's been the last few years, Xbox recently announced a reversal of its upcoming first-party title pricing plans. See, you shove up the thing, go, oops, that wasn't supposed to leak. Oh God, you guys weren't supposed to know that we're charging $80. Just kidding. Look, we hear your complaints. We're not charging $80. It's just $70. Everyone's like, ooh. Whew, thank God. I thought they were going to charge $80. They're charging $70. They're saving me $10. Oh, thank you. Thank you, gaming gods. All right. It says, what do you think? Not raising the game price to $80. Let us know down below. Yeah, let me know down below. Let me know in the comments section. Let me know in the live chat. Are you okay? Of course you're okay. Why wouldn't you be okay? Be like, yeah, they're just going to get you other way. Don't worry. Don't worry. Instead of charging $9.90 for a microtransaction in the game, they'll charge you $12.50 in the game to make up for not charging the game for $80. You understand what I'm saying? They got you coming either way, coming and going. They'll make that money up. Don't worry about it. Another Battlefield story here is Battlefield 6 leaks 15 multiplayer maps and all campaign missions. There you go. The value, 15 multiplayer maps. In a recent leak, it's to be believed, okay, take it with a grain of salt. It appears, though, that upcoming Battlefield 6 will feature 15 multiplayer maps, okay, 11 new maps and 4 remastered ones. And even though Battlefield 2042 released to a lackluster response, there's a significant hype behind Battlefield 6. Is there? Is there? Is there? The initial reveal trailer for the game has also given fans confidence that the Battlefield 6 is returning to a long-running first-person shooter franchise to its glory days. First of all, the glory days is Battlefield 1942. Not 43, not 2142, not 2042, not Battlefield 1, not Bad Company, not Battlefield 3, not Battlefield 4, right? Back to its franchise, to its glory days. Now, obviously, they say glory days because Battlefield 3 and 4 sold the most. So from a business standpoint, that's the glory days, right? But that's... I like to compare Battlefield to what the gaming industry was, right? When I was a kid, buying and playing video games, I was the small majority, or small minority, I should say, okay, that loved video games. And people would make fun of me. You play what? What is that video game stuff? That's stupid. It's going to rot your brain or whatever, okay? Get my ass kicked, or at least they would try, okay? They would pick on you, okay? And then it became popular. And then everyone was like, holy shit, gaming's cool. Battlefield, back in 2042, was like this gem. Like, nobody knew what it was. There's like 2 million, 3 million people maybe playing, okay? And then it got Steam. And then Bad Company 1 came out, and people started noticing. And then Bad Company 2 came out, and people really noticed. And then, after Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3 came out, and everyone was like, holy shit, this is so awesome, right? And that's when it shot up and became cool to play Battlefield. And then Battlefield 4 came out, and then it dipped a little bit, and you know where the history of the rest of it is, right? So going back to the franchise's glory days is pre-modern Battlefield, right? The old school World War II era. But I digress. With many eagerly anticipating Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal on July 31st, which is tomorrow, Ahead of the official reveal footage, Battlefield 6 multiplayer has leaked online, only serving as make fans even more excited about the game. In fact, Battlefield 6 reveal trailer earned more likes than the competitor Black Ops 7. That means absolutely nothing. That's because people are looking at Call of Duty and going, I'm tired of this. Let me see what this is going to be about. Okay? Because Call of Duty is like this stale. We're about to watch the Real Fake Wizards video on superhero fatigue. There is a first-person Call of Duty fatigue right now because they're just like, I'm just tired of playing Call of Duty. What else is out there? Not Battlefield. What else is out there? Okay, even though Call of Duty still has 30,000, 60,000, 8,000 people playing whatever it is every single day, there's people who are like looking to see what else is coming out. Okay, it says amassed over 500,000 Steam wish lists, and EA and DICE also playing their cards right. Battlefield 6 could be one of the 2025's biggest hits. I've already said I think it's going to sell 10 to 12 million copies. Okay? That's before we even know it's broke, buggy, and unfinished. Okay? Battlefield 6 will also go down as one of the year's worst-kept secrets. Battlefield 6 leaks have been coming seamlessly nonstop. It's just, you know what it is? I can't believe I'm doing this. I have another Star Wars analogy. Okay? Those of you that, you probably don't want to remember this, but in the what was it? Ryan Johnson's episode 8, right? Was that what? Return of the Jedi? No, Jesus Christ. I forget what the fucking name was called. There was Force Awakens. Then there was this. There was the 8, and then there was the Fall of Skywalker. Was 9. I know I'm messing that up. Anyway, Ryan Johnson's number 8. You know where Finn has that Bacta suit on? And he stands up off the table, and all the things just start shooting out everywhere. That's EA Battlefield 6 right now. The Last Jedi. Thank you very much. The Last Jedi, right? That's Battlefield right now. Battlefield 6 is Finn just shooting out shit everywhere. Yeah, I did block it out. Okay, so Battlefield 6 will go down as one of the year's worst-kept secrets because of all the leaks coming out. Okay, now the latest claiming that the reveal of the game multiplayer maps and main campaign missions, some of the means appear to be placeholders, and some fans should take information with a massive grain of salt. Okay, organized and data mine reported by the Game Post. So Battlefield 6 leaked maps and mission lists. Okay, new maps. These are just, I'm not even going to try to announce half of these. Okay, but there you go. These are the maps, new maps. Okay. Remastered maps. Downtown Hardline. Fantastic. I probably won't ever play that. Well, I might not even play the game, but if I do play the game, I might not even play Downtown because I hate small maps in Battlefield. Campaign missions, you got Prologue, Implementations, Night Raid, Mission to Protect, Drone Attack. Oh, there you go. Someone was asking for drones. If there's drones attacking in the campaign, there's going to be drones in the game. Invasion, Attica, Tank Mission, and War. So a lot of these, here you go, Brooklyn, Gibraltar, Cairo. So there you go. There's some maps there. You got Cairo, 2 Cairo maps, 3 California maps, technically 2 California maps, 1 California map for the Battle Royale / Gauntlet. So that's going to be actually three California maps. This one is the Battle Royale. But I would assume that these 2 here are also included in this as well. You got 2 Brooklyn. So there you go. There's where the game's taking place. Assuming these leaks are accurate, one has wondered how much of this content will be available for Battlefield 6 at launch and how much will also come at a later date. For example, this is largely believed that Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode won't be in the game at launch, which we talked about yesterday, so you can go check out that video. Was it yesterday or was it Monday? Today's Wednesday, right? I think we talked about it Monday. I think it's smart for them to push the Battle Royale separate from the standalone game. Because if people come in to play the Battle Royale, you're not selling the game. You're not, because they're just going to play the Battle Royale. So it's definitely smart to separate the two. If that turns out, opens the doors for some of the other maps to also come in later date, but also really won't know for sure until EA decides to share more information. The good news is that we won't have to wait very much longer. Battlefield 6 info nearly at the end. Battlefield 6 will also be a big multiplayer reveal on July 31st. Where it'll also be revealed all kinds of details, which is tomorrow. So we'll find out about the multiplayer stuff. Maybe it'll just be nothing, a speed bump like they did last week with the campaign stuff. Maybe they'll actually show a bunch of stuff tomorrow, but we'll find out. Okay. Yeah, the campaign, if it's this, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. What do you think? 40 minutes? 30 to 40 minutes? Prologue's not going to probably take 30 minutes, right? Then you go to the... Maybe this one's about 40 minutes. So I'm going to say, based on... Let's take some math here. 45 minutes. Let's go with what? You think about 30 minutes for the prologue? 30 minutes for the prologue? Plus maybe 40 minutes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what do you... Is that right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. That equals 350. That's a 5.5 to 6 hour campaign, right? Based on how you play. If you just run to it, don't know about the dialogue, stuff like that. I'm giving an average about 40 minutes per level. We got about 5.5 hours. You put 40 for the prologue, you got yourself 6 hours. All right. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? 15 multiplayer maps, is that good enough? Is that 15 at the launch? Is that 15 in the end? How many of these maps will be good? How many of these maps will be complete? How many of these maps will not need to be fixed over the next 12 to 18 months like Battlefield 2042? We shall find out together. Hopefully, look, I want this game to do good. I do. I want this game to do good. I want Battlefield to be back. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. All right, we got that done. We have the... All right, let's go watch the real-life fake wizard. It's a 30-minute video. It's a 30-minute video, which means it's going to be about 45 to 50 minutes for me because I'm going to stop, talk, and whatnot. Okay? What I do suggest, if you guys, because it came out a day ago, okay, I don't like to, I'm not a very big channel, so I'm not stealing a crap ton of views, but I still like people to, links in the description down below. If you want to go watch this video in its entirety without me talking over it, without me pausing and stopping, you can go hit that his channel up and go watch the video for yourself. Okay? Ray says, I like the war stories from Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 2. I like Battlefield 1 stories the way they did that. I even like how they did Battlefield 5. $1.25, bro. It all depends how fast he talks. It all depends on how fast he talks, Sarge. Eclipse says, I just saw if you pre-order Borderlands 4, you get a Moxie skin in Fortnite. That's how much they're begging you for pre-orders. Buy this game, get this skin in that game? Boy. You mean the game that 60 to 70% of the people are playing right now? If you pre-order Borderlands 4, you get a character from Borderlands 4 as a skin inside of Fortnite.
So, but you play Borderlands 4, but some people don't even play
Correct.
Fortnite.
Correct.
So why is it even...
It's for the people that play Fortnite. So my son just asked, he goes, that doesn't make sense. He's like, why would they... He's like, not everyone plays Fortnite. Right? He's like, so that pre-ordering that, what about if you don't play Fortnite? Is someone going to buy Borderlands 4 and go, oh, I'm going to go play Fortnite now because I have Moxie? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. I can't imagine that someone that's not playing Fortnite now all of a sudden going, oh, I really like Borderlands, I'm going to go play Fortnite now.
I mean, but it makes sense, like,
Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because people mostly play that.
Titan says Gearbox did the same thing with Borderlands 3. Yeah, they did the cannibal guy, whatever, my brain is just shut off today. I can't think. The Last Jedi really hurt me. Yeah, they censored the Moxie skin, did they? Is there a picture of it? Hold on, let me see. Is there a picture of it? Well, yeah, they're both using Epic. I get it. It's just that if you're playing Fortnite right now, oh, they officially revealed Blade for Marvel Rivals. Even though we saw him like 7 months ago. Was it Fortnite and Borderlands 4 team up? Collab with the Strong 21 hours ago. Borderlands collab makes a strong case for Borderlands 4 DLC Vault Hunter. Moxie could be a DLC Vault Hunter contender thanks to Fortnite. So is it official or are they just talking about it? Is it official that they said they're going to have it if you pre-order? Such as Borderlands 4 is doing 10-second ads throughout the day. If you guys aren't catching them, let us know. Tag me in Discord? Okay. Oh, there it is. So this is official then. This is official. Buy Borderlands 4 on Epic Games Store. Get the Mad Moxie bundle in Fortnite. Is that what she's going to look like in Fortnite? Because that almost looks like the game itself. Okay. Thanks for that, Eclipse. All right. Let's go to the real life fake wizard. Let me see how fast he's talking, and then we'll...
Hello, I am the real life fake wizard. It is the summer of 2025, and we have seen a whole...
All right, let me go to 1.25.
Hello, I am the real life fake wizard. It is the summer of 2025, and we have seen a whole lot of superhero movies hit theaters this year, but none of them performed...
Is that good? Is that good, chat? Is that too fast? Because we're going to be pausing and stuff as he talks about it, so... I think that's good. 1.25 I think is good. If it's too fast, let me know and I'll slow it down.
Exceptionally well at the box office. You know, nothing is hitting $1 billion anymore. Captain America Brave New World underperformed.
Marvel blames Captain America Brave New World for failure on replacing Chris Evans.
Thunderbolts underperformed.
Thunderbolts lost more dollars despite great reviews. Where does Marvel go next?
For Fantastic Four and Superman, the jury is still out. These films are actively in theaters now as of the recording of this video, and anything is possible. But $1 billion doesn't seem to be in Superman.
Yet none of these movies are making $1 billion. Superman's not making $1 billion. Jurassic Park's not making $1 billion, but that's not a superhero film. Fantastic Four is not making $1 billion. Right?
Superman's future, and I couldn't begin to guess where Fantastic Four is going to land. But what about years past? What about 2024 superhero films? Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, Joker 2, The Crow, all of those flopped at the box office. Alternatively,
I remember someone told me The Crow was going to be great. I made a video about The Crow, didn't watch it. I said, I don't want anything to do with it. I said, I think they should have left it alone. I don't think it was going to do something, and it failed miserably.
Deadpool and Wolverine and Venom 3 did bring in returns on big budget investments. Deadpool and Wolverine cleared $1.3 billion worldwide, and Venom The Last Dance grossed nearly $500 million worldwide. But I'm not interested in focusing on just the box office metrics. That's not what this video is. Myself and channels like it cover box office analytics every other day. What I care about here is that there has been rampant speculation as to why superhero stuff just doesn't feel super anymore. People have discussed.
It's a good question. It's a good question. Why doesn't superhero stuff feel super anymore? Is there a fatigue? Is there a fatigue? Is there a reason why people don't want to go to the movies anymore? Is it more of the movies and not the movies? Is it a mix? Is it the writing? Is it the theaters are too expensive? Is it that they're tired of Kevin Feige and Disney, right? Like, what is it?
For some time. Is there such a thing as superhero fatigue? Or is it perhaps bad movie fatigue? Our audience is not tuning in for superhero, well, anything anymore. How about all those Disney Plus shows? It seems like no one talks about them.
I think for me, which is funny to think about, right? And let me complete my thought here. When Disney first purchased Marvel, none of us were like, this is terrible. Because when Disney bought Marvel back in 2012, or I'm sorry, they bought Star Wars in 2012. They bought Marvel in 2007, 2008, something like that. Okay, we're like, this is a good fit. They could do so much with this, but you got to be careful what you wish for, because they bought it and they did so well in the beginning. We liked it. We liked Iron Man 1 and 2 and Thor and Captain America and the Avengers and that whole phase 1, 2, and 3. We were, as superhero fans, as Marvel fans, we were living it up. We were like, this is so good. Then in 2012, as they were doing good in the beginning of Marvel, they bought Star Wars. And we're like, this is good. They're going to make a lot of shows. But here he is, right? It's like food analogy time. Here it is. Food analogy time. It's like your mom promising you, yeah, we could have pizza. We could have pizza every night. And you're like, oh my God, Mom, I love you. I can't believe we're going to have pizza every night, right? Day 2, you're eating pizza. You're loving it. Day 3, you're like, I don't know if I want this pizza anymore. Day 4, you're like, I don't want pizza, right? You're just tired of it. You just don't want the same thing. We like things, but we like things on our own terms. And because Marvel's television came out, they just kept shoving them in your face. You had television show after television show after a movie, and you had to watch this to get that for this one line in it, right? And it was just not working out. Just not working out.
Even when they're airing every week. These questions and more should be answered, or at least explored. And while there really is no definitive yes or no, I think it would be nice to hear exactly from the fans about what they think. In order to accomplish this, we are going to GalaxyCon Raleigh as invited guests to interview attendees.
That's a good turnout. Where's this? Raleigh?
And spread fake magic. I have been attending GalaxyCon Raleigh since 2019, making this my 6th year attending the show. In that time, I've watched it continually grow and expand. The amount of people that attend this event feels like it rivals New York Comic-Con, mostly because of how crammed together
It's pretty big. There's a lot of people there.
everyone is. This year was a standout because of the premiere of GalaxyCon's Street Fest that expanded the convention from the show floor inside to major parts of downtown Raleigh outside. But like with any Comic-Con, there's going to be lots and lots and...
Sarge says, except that we're on 10-year... We're on year 10 of pizza. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Ray says, I don't like superheroes anymore because they become Dragon Ball Spider-Man 2001, having a wall falling on the Green Goblin felt cool. But now they just make them go through 80 walls. It was like nothing. So you're saying it becomes a little too unrealistic. Like, yeah, they're superpowered, but they're not super invulnerable. They're making them like exponentially more powerful than you think they should be. Water says nobody wants to see Madden Web, not in a standalone movie. Nobody wants to see the Thunderbolts, who aren't even the real Thunderbolt team. Right. That's a whole nother conversation, Water, right? They try to pass the Thunderbolts off as the Thunderbolts that weren't the Thunderbolts. They're like, hey, no one knows these guys, so let's take these guys and pretend they're the Thunderbolts.
lots of cosplay. Cosplay, you know, people that just want to celebrate Halloween more than once a year.
These people are the diehards, man. If you're making any kind of costume, any kind of costume. The kid with the Spider-Man, right? The kid with the Spider-Man. Let me back up here. Let's like the Spider-Man, right? Like that kid right now, he's growing up, man. He's gonna love comics. He's gonna love playing video games. He's gonna be like, he probably loves them now, right? He's a fan. He's us before we were skewed.
Of cosplay. Cosplay, you know, people that just want to celebrate Halloween more than once a year. These people spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars designing and building these extravagant costumes. How could you spend all that money to look so preposterous?
That's good. That's good. I love how you set all of this up and then you come back looking like that. It's good.
Anyway, when it comes to the question of is superhero fatigue real, well, that could mean a lot of things to different people. The definitions of what fatigue means could change from person to person, and you'll realize very quickly from our talks with these folks, it does. And so, because of that, we're going to need to ask a lot more questions to get to the root of how people actually feel about cape movies in 2025. Firstly, starting with qualifier questions like, do you like superhero movies?
Absolutely.
I pretty much like them. I'm pretty big on superheroes.
I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're starting to make a comeback. Absolutely.
Love them.
They love them. We all love superheroes. All of us, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of us that are like, man, I can't believe they're making superhero films.
It's Chuck E. Cheese. How do you feel about superhero movies?
Later that night, Charles Entertainment Cheese was arrested for credit card fraud in Florida.
Of course it was Florida. Son of a bitch. Another Florida man.
I'm not going back to jail!
Okay, so at least we're in the right place. 95% of the folks we interviewed like superhero movies, and only a handful didn't have opinions. The next important question would be, how do you feel about superhero movies being made today? There's a big difference between X-Men 2000 and Madam Web, right? In X-Men, we learned what happens when a toad is struck by lightning, but in Madam Web, we learned how to do CPR, baby.
You lock your elbows.
I don't know anything about Madam Web. Like nothing. I didn't watch Madam Web. I don't know anything about Madam Web ahead of time. I never followed the comics with Madam Web. Okay?
And then you place the heel of your hand right on the sternum, okay? And then you pump. And you want to go like 2 inches down.
Seriously, how do we feel about the cape movies?
Not as good as the older ones. I really like the original Iron Man.
I do like Spider-Man a lot.
I think they're great. I enjoy them.
Personally, myself, I like them.
I really enjoy the older, like 2000.
At a point, look, I'm not saying these people are just saying they like them because, but I do believe there's a little copium going on, right? Like you want it to be good. In your head, you're like, yeah, because let me back it up a little bit. Because I'm big on looking at people when they say a question and how they answer with their body language. Okay? They hesitate, they look up, there's a bunch of different stuff. Your brain moves like this. While you're hearing the question, you're already making that assumption in your head of what you're going to answer, but you're changing it in a millisecond of time. So let's back up here.
We feel about the cape movies?
Not as good as the older ones.
Not as good as the older ones, right? He's looking straight down, right? Look, he's looking straight down when asked the question. His girlfriend, I'm assuming his girlfriend or his friend, whatever, that's standing next to him, okay? She's laughing because she knows that he doesn't like them as much as the older ones, okay? He's coping, saying not as good as like he enjoys watching them, but he's like, they're not as good as the old ones. I like the old Iron Man.
I really like the original Iron Man.
I do like Spider-Man a lot.
Now the second person here.
About the cape movies?
I enjoy them.
Personally, myself,
Hold on.
I really like the original Iron Man.
I do like Spider-Man a lot.
He seemed pretty confident. But he also said, I really like Spider-Man a lot. And there's been pretty good Spider-Man films. So that's not a bad take. Okay? He's pretty confident. He said, I like Spider-Man. Right? I like Spider-Man.
I think they're great.
He stuttered for a second. He's like, I think they're great. Right? I think they're great.
Personally, myself, I like them.
I really enjoy.
I do like Spider-Man a lot.
I think they're great. I enjoy them.
Started a little bit, kind of looked at it and said, I do like him, right? He was justifying to himself, do I like him? I do like him. Yeah, I like him.
Personally, myself, I like them.
I really enjoy the older.
He is going way deep. He is looking up into the stars, trying to pull something out saying, yeah, I really enjoy. Yes or no? Do you like it? Yes or no?
Like 2000s, like the 2000s movies, superhero movies. But I'm not a big fan of the new works that, like, say, DC.
He's not even looking at the person that's interviewing him. He's just looking to grab whatever. He's like, what have I heard on the internet? What have I heard on other people saying? What have I... Doesn't really know.
DC is coming out with, and especially Marvel after the Avengers, arc.
They aren't that creative,
Here you go. Here's another one.
DC is coming out with, and especially Marvel after the Avengers, arc.
They aren't.
Ask the question. Link here looks directly down at the ground and then says his statement.
That creative, they lack the originality and kind of that same feeling that the ones of old gave you.
I like them. I think they're fun.
Brand loyalist. She loves everything that comes out. Nothing wrong with that. There are people that are just brand loyalists.
I think they're overdone a little bit.
He's confident, right? He's waiting for her to stop talking, and then he says his thing.
I mean, there's like every month you get a new superhero movie, and
Okay,
it's
but
all
that's
just
the
like
whimsicalness, though.
Do you see the difference between the two? Right? He would be considered a hater, where she has got to drink a big glass of copium. Because I agree, the first, like, the old school X-Men, Spider-Man films, right? Then you go into the Marvel Studios films. Were great. They were great. I've even told stories about when Avengers had Hulk come on the screen, and he's Bruce Banner, and then he switches to Hulk, right? He says, "I'm always angry," and then he slams that alien beast in the face, right? I was just like, a small little tear came down my eye. I was like, oh. And that's before we knew that they made Beta Hulk. At that moment, during that time frame, I was like, oh, man, I can't wait for them to make up. And they never did. They just made him Beta Hulk.
And kind of that same feeling that the ones of old gave you.
I like them. I think they're fun.
I think they're overdone a little bit. I mean, there's like every month you get a new
See, he said they're overdone a little bit, right? Every month, he's just saying, we don't get something every month.
superhero movie, and
Okay,
it's
but
all
that's
just
the
like
whimsicalness, though.
And here we start getting some flavor to this discussion. Firstly, that there are going to be people who still like all the movies coming out. And I think it's important to not discredit that. There are going to be some customers that love Iron Man all the way through Ironheart, and that's okay.
Who likes Ironheart? Who's liking Ironheart? I'm sorry. I didn't see it, but who's liking this is garbage.
We're going to refer to these people as brand loyalists for now, meaning that...
Thank you, Real Fake Wizard. That's exactly right. That girl was a brand loyalist.
Whatever the brands do, these people consider themselves loyal to the capes, and yet, upon...
Right, it doesn't matter what it is. Everything's great for them. There's no critiquing whatsoever. There's no fandom there whatsoever. It's just, oh my God. Oh, I love that. Did you see? Oh, they're so cute. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh my God. Did you see like they love everything. They're blinded by their love.
I'm asking some of these folks, what was the last superhero movie you saw in theaters? Here's what some of them had to say.
I go to the movies still. I think my last movie was Deadpool 3, Wolverine.
Deadpool 3 Wolverine. Okay, that's over a year ago. Right? Listen to what he said.
Here's what some of them had to say.
I go to the movies still. I think my last movie was Deadpool 3, Wolverine.
I go to the movies still. The last movie I saw was Deadpool. You're right. You don't go to the movies still. You don't go to the movies still.
Wolverine.
It might have been the last Guardians of the Galaxy, honestly.
Superhero film. Love superhero movies. And yet, it's been a while. That's me. That was me. I haven't been to the movies to see an actual Marvel film since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's the last Marvel film I saw. I go to the movies all the time. But that's the last Marvel film I saw up until Fantastic Four, which was this past weekend.
Probably about a month ago.
And what did you see?
Honestly, I cannot remember.
He went a month ago and doesn't remember what he saw. Writing in 2025.
But I did recently just watch the Superman movie.
Venom 3.
Venom 3, okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen any...
Since then, Captain America, Thunderbolts, you know.
We haven't seen any yet, no.
What's the last superhero movie you think you saw in theaters?
Let's see, Superman.
Hold up. Why did it take him so long to think about that?
We haven't seen any yet, no.
What's the last superhero movie you think you saw in theaters?
Let's see, Superman.
What was he trying to say there? What was he trying to say? He had a brain fart. His brain wanted to say something else. Did he see Superman? Do you guys think he saw Superman? I don't think he did. I think he wanted to say, what? Maybe he got confused because maybe he saw a different movie, but the question was, what's the last superhero movie you saw?
Venom 3.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen any in 2020?
We haven't seen any yet, no.
What's the last superhero movie you think you saw in theaters?
Let's see, Superman.
Seops?
All of these instances were people who are considered brand loyalists, almost in their own words. 2 of them were dressed in Marvel cosplay. But when asked what the last one was that they saw in theaters, they named movies that were up to 2 years old or older. Now, does that mean they're not seeing the movies at all? No, because they're watching them on streaming.
And that's another thing, right? So, like me, I haven't watched a Marvel film in theaters since Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but I did see Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Love and Blunder. Okay, I did watch those movies. I still haven't seen any of the Ant-Man ones except one. I didn't even watch the second one.
We mostly just watch stuff like on streaming services and stuff now. Not too much theater.
Yeah, I usually watch them at home because I don't live super close to a theater.
Are you a Disney Plus subscriber?
Yes.
Do you watch the Marvel shows on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Do you like them?
Yes.
Streaming.
I don't mean to pick on this one guy. Why did his voice rise up there? Right? Why did his voice rise up? Right?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
watch the Marvel shows on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Do you like them?
Do you like them?
Yes.
Yes.
Streaming is now a massive
No judging. If you like it, you like it. But why did your voice rise up there?
factor in this discussion. Remember at the beginning I said I didn't want to focus on just the box office? But I'm not interested in focusing on just the box office metrics. This is why. Yes, the box office results are indicative of the overall health of the genre, but I'm more interested in customer perception. That's what we're after. If the box office results are trending downward, and they have been since 2020...
I forgot that was a movie that came out. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this movie.
I want to know what people think about that. You know, it's not just superhero movies trending down.
It even looks like shit. I have to say, the Marvel film doesn't even look like a film. It looks like a student film fan fiction type of stuff.
It's the entire box.
Jay Breezy says that's because the movies are coming out like 30 days after the theaters. Okay. Think about what you just said there, Breezy, and I agree with you. But why buy a brand new game at $80? Why buy a brand new game at $70? Because they go on sale just 30 days later, 45 days later, right? That's the same mentality, right? I don't need to buy full price. You shouldn't pay full price for anything, right? Obviously, we're talking about going into a theater for $10, $15 compared to an $80 video game. But people will buy the $80 video game over the $15 go to the movies to see something.
Box office, rom-coms, action, horror, superheroes.
Look at that. Will the box office ever return to pre-pandemic levels? I mean, there are movies that get up there, but no, I don't think you will. I have a video on Nerding with 30 talking about what movie theaters should do, right? What they should do to change, because movie theaters are boring, right? I can watch, we have 4K 90-inch, 120-inch projectors and all this stuff in our houses. We have our own theaters built in our houses. Yet, what is the theater doing better for me? More expensive popcorn?
Disney live-action garbage that gets copyright claimed on my channel. Everything. The box office is collectively bringing in less than it was before. And now we're hearing from the mouths of fans that streaming is part of that equation. Is it possible that streaming and video on demand is cannibalizing the box office?
Real quick, Brainchild says, I was just saying the other day, you can also tell how bad Borderlands movie was. No streaming platform has picked it up yet. They're desperate to make more sales before it's offered elsewhere. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It's not anywhere? It's not on any platform? Is that true? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Borderlands. It's not anywhere. Yeah, you're 100%. Oh, wait, no. It's streaming on Stars. It's streaming on Stars, and you can rent it on video Amazon Prime for $6. But it's not on any major. It's on Stars streaming. Who has Stars streaming? Does anybody in the chat have Stars streaming? And then they have rent or buy on Amazon Prime Video. But you're right. It's not on any major platform, and that's because they're hiding it because they don't want it to ruin the they don't want it to smell up the room as Borderlands 4 is coming up.
Office? Well,
El Dente says, I have Stars. There you go.
That's absolutely a fact. Yes. In 2024, researchers did.
Hold on, let me rewind here.
Is part of that equation. Is it possible that streaming and video on demand is cannibalizing the box office?
Yes, 100% it is.
Well, that's absolutely a fact. Yes. In 2024, researchers did this deep dive on Netflix to see just how impactful it has been to consumer habits. They found that Netflix, on its own, has led to a reduction of 14.
Holy Christ. Netflix streaming service in 2007 associated with the reduction of 14 to 17% of the box office. That was 2007.
To 17% in box office revenues. That's fascinating. And that doesn't even factor in the superhero aspect. That just means Netflix equals less box office success. Why would that happen?
XBX says, I have Stars streaming. Borderlands movie was horrible. I watched it at 1.5 speed on YouTube, okay? And I want my time back. It was one of the shittiest movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Why is that? Well, it's the 3 C's of streaming: convenience, cost, and choice. It's convenient to sit on the couch.
Oh, but that's cheating, El Dente. It says you're split all streaming services in my family, so I have it. Also, where I watch Outlander. Yeah, but you don't have it. You're not paying for it. Which one are you paying for? Are you paying for Amazon Prime? Are you paying for Stars? Are you paying for... You're sharing it with your family. I get that. Because you're saving money. And that's smart. But you don't actually have it. You're just round robbing it to everybody else, right? Right? Like your mom's paying for Stars and you have Showtime or whatever else.
Couch in the privacy of your home, it costs less than buying tickets for each film. And you have almost too many choices of what to watch that sometimes we get decision.
Breezy says, if you pre-order Borderlands 4, you will be forced to watch the Borderlands movie. Yeah, it starts before the game. They give it to you. They give you the movie free with your pre-order purchase of Borderlands 4. You actually pay for Stars?
Fatigue and just sit there for 20 minutes scrolling through all the movie posters on Netflix. Think like you watch more things on streaming now?
Definitely, yeah. I watch a lot of shows off Disney Plus because it has all the platforms.
And all these streaming services that...
Oh. All of you that are watching movies on streaming services, you're broke boys. And I don't mean that, right? I'm just trying to take the same energy level that people say, well, if you don't buy your video games, you're broke. Well, if you don't go to the movies, you're broke. No, you're saving money. It's more convenience. Why would I spend $100 to go to the theater with my family when I can just rent it for $5.99 35 days later?
That let you rent the movie that literally came out that day at home. So why go to the theater and see a movie when, you know...
He just said it.
Streaming now?
Definitely, yeah. I watch a lot of shows off Disney Plus because it has all the platforms.
And all these streaming services that let you rent the movie that literally came out that day at home. So why go to the theater and see a movie when, you know, you can see it at home?
Now, the chain...
That's exactly right. I love the movies. I love going to the movies. I love that experience. I love that moment that you're in the theater and the lights turn down and you're watching on the big screen. I love it. I know I could put my headset on for my MetaQuest and watch a movie there, and I'm in a movie theater. And I get that. But I go there because I like those moments when you watch a sad movie or a scary movie and a really thrilling thing. Everyone in the theater, you can feel the energy in the room. That's why I like going to theaters. But I know I'm the minority, man. Less and less people want to go to the theaters. Hence why I say what theaters should do to fix the theaters.
Change of streaming on consumer habits has only been exacerbated by the impacts of the COVID lockdowns of 2020. During that time, studios that would have put their big budget films in theaters opted to release many of them on streaming networks for the cost of $20 and $30. While this was unprecedented, it did lead to radical conditioning for many normal moviegoers. Also keep in mind that streaming networks were and already had been making movies and TV that were exclusive to streaming as is.
Right.
In many ways, it's debatable that what you're getting on streaming as far as content quality could be no different to the content quality you're getting in a theatrical release. Streaming networks are paying hundreds of millions of dollars to create movies and television in the same way other studios spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make theatrical movies. After 2020, theatrical windows declined from an average of 90 days in the cinemas to now.
Movies back in the day, my Big Fat Greek Wedding was in theaters for like 300, and I think it was like 380 days, something like that. Like Titanic was in there for almost a year. A year. When we were younger, you went to the movies because you had to if you wanted to watch something. It wasn't fear of missing out. It was, when is that coming out? Right? You had to wait for it to come on VHS or beta. So if a movie came out in 1989, you wouldn't see that movie on your television set until 1990 or 91. Okay? Because it had to go through the cycle. It had to go through the theater. It would stay in the theater for like 6, 7 months, 8 months. Okay? Even if it was a shitty movie, it would still stay in there for like 6 months. Then it would go off. You wouldn't see it. There would be no rentals. There would be nothing. And then all of a sudden it would show up in the rental movies and you could rent it. And you could rent it for the next 9 months. And then it went to HBO or it went to Showtime. And then, and only then, did it come to DVDs and then you bought it. It would be so long. So when somebody came in the theater like, man, I got to watch that. Otherwise, I don't know when I'm going to watch it. Now, 30 days, 45 days. 45 days. It was up to 17 days, or down, I should say, down to 17 days during the pandemic stuff. It came in the theaters 17 days later. It was in your house.
A measly 17 to 45 days in cinemas. That means the average movie today might only appear in theaters for half a month and be pulled out to be posted online.
Right, half a month, which is 2 weekends.
As video on demand. Deloitte explains 75% of U.S. box office revenue comes in the first 17.
Lord Chaos says if they allowed smoking in the theater, you would see an uptick. Smoking like pot or just smoking, because that's not going to happen. That would. I grew up in a time where you could smoke cigars and cigarettes in the theater. Let me tell you, no one wants that back.
Days. And as soon as the movie gets put on VOD, the box office drops off entirely.
So it's studios typically release new movies in theaters, an exclusive window. A film cannot be shown on any other channel during the theatrical release. On average, studios share 45% of the box office revenue with the theater operator. Most movies make about 75% of the total U.S. box office revenue in the first 17 days, including the first 3 weekends. Yet they stay in theaters for another 60 to 75 days to capture the remaining 25%. The longer the movie runs in the theaters, the more revenue share lifts in favor of the venues, which I've talked about in the past.
If the movie remained in theaters for longer, Deloitte notes that they could capture the remaining 25% of revenue. Obviously, that is dependent on the type of film and the film itself, but longer theatrical windows typically equal more revenue earned over time. Something else that's really interesting here, a 2024 study noted that streaming VOD versus transactional VOD showed that moving films to the subscription tier, meaning that you're not paying $20 or $30 to watch the movie and it's just part of a regular subscription, increased viewership of the movie itself by 192%.
Difference methodology result in initial analysts revealed that allocating movies of SVOD leads into a 192 increase of the number of views, while simultaneously 52% decrease in the TVOD sales. Additionally, an investigation characteristics of movies that are.
That's almost a 200% increase in viewership if you don't need to rent or buy the individual movie. If we zoom out, lots of people aren't going to the movies because of streaming. And then people also aren't willing to pay for the premium videos on demand. Again.
Right. They don't want to go to the movies, but they also don't want to pay the $30 for the premium. Remember, we used to talk about it. Some of you maybe remember. Okay. We talked about how there used to be a service that you couldn't watch a movie in theaters at your home unless you bought this specific projector that would ship to your house, and it cost $30,000 to do this. Only the richest of rich people would be able to do this, right? They didn't want to go out, whatever, so they would rent this thing, they would bring this thing to their house, and they would show it on the wall, right? Now everyone can do that from your comfort of your mobile phone.
And because of streaming, Netflix, Hulu, and all the subscription tiers like it have conditioned people around the world to just wait until they can watch it for the cheapest possible dollar investment. We are on.
That's right, the cheapest. So why is it, though, every other entertainment piece in the world, people look for a better deal, but in video games, they tell you you're a broke boy if you don't pay full price? Why is that? I might have to make a video about that.
A mission to find Jesus. Come with me as we look and search for Jesus.
So streaming
That would have been funny if Jesus was right there.
has clearly made a dent on box office returns. But has that contributed to superhero fatigue alone? No, definitely not. There's a lot of factors here, but perhaps let's look at this from another side. Before we even talk about the Cape films themselves, are people going to the movies at all?
I'd say so, yes. Yeah.
Maybe.
Why do they have to look at each other? Hold up a second.
People going to the movies at all?
Why did they have to look at each other? Are they sure? They probably are looking at each other because we went to go see Superman. Obviously, they went to go see Superman, right? They looked at each other and went, yeah, but their theater wasn't full. I mean, I would have to assume, because why would you hesitate and say, well, yeah, and look at each other to make sure the other person's saying it?
The Cape films themselves, are people going to the movies at all?
I'd say so, yes. Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4 films, depending upon.
I would say 3-4 films on average. I would say 3 to 4 films a year. I would put that in the same ballpark as a movie, like a video game. I think the average person's only going to about 3 to 4 movies a year.
I only go like maybe once a year.
Like once or twice a year.
Once or twice a year.
It don't go a lot at all, but
There you go. I mean, obviously, it's just 1 or 2 people answering this, but
Upon.
I only go like maybe once a year.
Like once or twice a year.
Once or twice a year.
it don't go a lot at all. But this guy drags me.
this third guy over here, these 2 guys said 1 or 2 times a year. The third guy there with the White Sox hat, he's checking in with his wife or someone over there, making sure, do we go? Yeah, that sounds good, right? Watch him.
I'd say so, yes. Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4 films, depending upon.
I only go like maybe once a year.
Like once or twice a year.
Once or twice a year.
It don't go a lot
He had a check.
at all. But this guy drags me at least once a year.
How often do you find yourself going to the movie?
I like how he said that guy dragged him.
Once or twice a year.
It don't go a lot at all. But this guy drags me at least once a year.
How often do you find yourself going to the movie?
Thanks for being a friend. What do you just sit at your house? He's like, yeah, this guy drags me over to the theater. Sorry, I want to hang out with you, bud.
Theater.
Hardly ever.
Really?
Why go to the theater when you can just watch this walk through town?
Multiple times a week.
Well, a week. Multiple times.
Hold on a second.
When you can just watch this walk through town.
Multiple times a week.
He is the 1%. Multiple times a week. Now, me and my wife, when we were in college, we would do this. We would see multiple movies a week. We would see like 3 to 4 a week. But it also cost $3.50, $4.
Well, a week. Multiple times a week.
At least 2 or 3 times, depending on what comes out.
I'd say be like 3 times a year, whatever's interesting. That.
What is this guy wearing? I mean, I can read the box. Is he Modelo Man? Like, what's happening here?
comes out, and I'll be like, hey, let's go with some buddies and drink some beer, Modelo specifically.
Sure.
I respect it. I respect it.
That one dude goes twice a week, and a good bunch of people saw Superman already. Heck, I personally go at least once a month, but the vast majority of people we spoke to do not. In fact, many of them only go 2 to 3 times a year in their own words. That's kind of crazy to think about. But
yeah, Jones, I think that when I say when the average person sees 3 to 4 movies, that's the people that are going to the movies. That go to the movies. Most of America, just domestically, doesn't go to the movies. Right? Because think about it. What do we have? 300 million people? What's the population of the United States? $340.1 million in 2024. 340 million. Okay. Movies only make, on average, $300 to $400 million by themselves. Okay, with the people that went. If everyone went to the theater, if everybody in the United States went to the theater and paid $1, they would make $340 million. Now think about, they're making $340 million domestically for the entire run of the movie, and they're charging $16 to make that. Not many people are going to the movies. Not many people are going to the movies at all.
actually, if we look at the numbers, in 2024, there were nearly 761 million movie tickets sold.
There you go. The box office figures are adjusted for inflation. Total box office gross was $8.6 billion. Tickets sold 760 million. That's just everyone went to the theater. Everyone went to the theater in the United States twice, and they only paid $1 a piece. Right? There's 340 million people in the United States, 760 million tickets sold. That's worldwide, by the way. That's worldwide.
In the United States.
That's the United States? Sorry, just the United States.
We divide that number out by capita in the U.S., that means that the average American might have seen a movie in theaters 2.2 times.
There you go. Yeah. The average American sold two times
in the year. That kind of lines up with what people were saying at the convention, right? Actually, no. That's not the full story at all. There are going to be lots of you in the comments that say, I didn't see 2 or 3 movies last year. Heck, I didn't see any. And
that's right. More people are not watching movies. Not watching movies in theaters, not watching movies.
Would be true. There will also be lots of you who say, Wizard, I saw 8 or 9 movies in theaters last year. That's way more than 2. Precisely.
Yeah. If you saw 9 and someone saw none, that's an average of 5. Well, how many more people didn't see any compared to the people that saw 9? Let me tell you, very few saw 9 movies last year.
Divided tickets sold across the country, we get that 2.2 visits per capita valuation. But the reality is, there are moviegoers that see lots of movies and non-moviegoers who hardly go to theaters at all. The closest data I was able to find to prove this assessment is a 2021 theme report, which analyzed that 34% of ticket sales in the
34% of ticket sales. Okay.
Year were purchased by people who go to the movies at least once a month, if not more.
34% that go once a month. You could take the number of the population of the United States, take 34% of that. Okay, what is that? Hold on, let me see. 340 million. No, that's wrong. 34% divided by. No, it's that's why. That is, yeah, that's nobody. That's a point 0.0000, right?
Meaning that a third of all tickets sold were at the hands of people making at least 12 visits a year to the theaters.
Which is less than 1% of the population.
I don't see Jesus. Yo, Jesus, where are you, Jesus?
But what does all this talk about box office and going to the movies have to do with superhero fatigue? A lot. Superhero movies are played in movie theaters. If we're to determine if a specific genre is fatigued or not,
right? We're just talking about people going to the movies. We're talking about just superhero films. People going to watch a superhero movie in the theaters.
We need to know if people are going to movie theaters at all. In this case, actual attendance to the cinemas is skewed in a way that makes...
We read that article. The average moviegoer right now in 2025 theaters at 11% capacity. 11% capacity. Meaning if you have 100 seats in your theater, there's 11 people on average going to watch a movie. So you walk into a theater, someone's like, man, my theater's packed. Well, the 12 o'clock show had 0 people. The 1 o'clock show had 1 person. The 8 o'clock show had 100 people or 90 people out of 100 seats. The average is 11 people per showing, okay, throughout the day. 11. That's garbage. 11. That is absolute garbage.
Makes the volume of tickets per people decline. One person might see 12 movies in a year, but that's not at all the same.
One person might see 12 movies a year, and they watched that one movie 12 times in 2 weeks. Think about that, right? I know people that have already seen Superman 6 times. 6 times. One person in 3 weeks, 6 times. They might not go to the theater ever again this year, but they watched that movie 6 times.
Same as 12 people seeing one film. But okay, are there other factors that might be contributing to less people going to the cinemas?
Snack prices are ridiculous. They're straight up scamming. I thought the Bud Light night scam. No, movie theater scam hard, bro. They're...
Let me combine this with video games again, right? Theaters are scamming you of your money, right? $10 for popcorn, $8 for bottled water. Microtransaction, $10. Yeah. Yeah. Horse armor. Yeah. DLC content that costs $60, 3 days early access. Yeah. Everyone loves that stuff, right? $10 popcorn. Go fuck yourself. Hey, where do people draw the lines? You see what I'm saying? Entertainment's entertainment. But people give shit because of $10 popcorn, but they're okay for $10 Beavis and Butthead, or I'm sorry, $30 Beavis and Butthead skins.
Like Jay-Z's a scammer, bro. The Kanye of scammers. Like, I don't even know. They just scam.
Well, I work at a movie theater, so I get.
It doesn't count anymore.
Say spoilers are really all over the place now.
So you think piracy is actually the kind of part of the problem?
Definitely.
No. No. Piracy is not the downfall of movies. I'm sorry, it's not.
Maybe not the main problem, but it's a big.
Yeah, it's on the chart at like 0.0001.
Like $5 when I was a kid. Now it's like 30, especially if I bring my wife, my kids, and so that's a thing I have to consider.
Also, the pricing wise, I think they just need to do maybe bring back the dollar theaters, man. I need
Bring back the dollar theater.
those back.
Okay, so
I would like if he asked them, bring back the dollar theater and what system he owned. Does he own PlayStation, Nintendo, or Xbox?
all of this is critically important. Movie-going as a medium is always in competition. There's the cost of travel to the theater, the cost of time invested in watching the movie, the cost of the actual ticket, then the cost of the popcorn and sodas or whatever else, and the cost of a single ticket after matinee prices could reach up to $18 or $20. Sometimes it could be even more if you go for an IMAX experience or something else, and all of that matters, and it clearly matters to all the folks we spoke to. Then compound in the fact that movie-going is competing with streaming like we addressed before, but also there's YouTube that someone could be watching.
Well, remember, movies are competing with streaming, but most of the competitors in streaming own the actual streaming service. Disney is making a subscription model still, right? Like they're still making the money from the people paying monthly, and they're also making the money from the people going to the theaters.
Instead, maybe there's a sports game on or video games to be played. Maybe you're busy spending free time with your family instead of seeing the most recent Marvel movie. Maybe your local theater is actually 30 or 45 minutes away. And maybe your theater...
Very true. I have a lot of theaters around me. Within a 12-mile radius of my house, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 theaters, 12 miles, within 12 miles. If I go 22 miles out, I'm up to like 15 movies. 15 movie theaters.
Is just not a welcoming experience, and it's not very clean. And all of this leads to one thing, and we still haven't talked about just the superhero genre.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. People's houses look like this as well. If they treat their house, if they treat their places where they go like this, well, then their houses are like this as well.
And all of this leads to one thing, and we still haven't talked about just the superhero genre yet. But the point is value. There is a discussion on value and where customers place value. Based on what we've covered so far, we can already confirm people are being conditioned, whether directly or indirectly, to seek out films at the cheapest place available. And most of the time, that comes down to a streaming network. That means a variety of things are happening. One, there's not enough value being proposed in cinemas to get people interested enough.
I actually have a video on this, on the value of what movie theaters need to bring for value, because movie theaters are down. And in my video, I talk about how sporting events are up, how concerts are still up, how comedy shows are still up. All of these things that bring value to the table. Movie theaters need to stop being living rooms, and they need to start bringing something else to the table. Because if they're just living rooms, then you're competing with living rooms. But if you start bringing theaters and you start changing them up to what they could possibly be, instead of just a movie theater, it could be a hangout place. They used to have arcades in theaters. They don't have arcades. You don't need to put arcades back there. But what I'm saying is, back in the day, they used to have arcades in the theater to bring people in there and play while they're hanging out, waiting for their movie to start, after the movie's done. They need to go back to something that brings people in and hangs out in the theaters. They don't do that.
To commute and spend money. Two, there's too many options of what to do with free time to the point of diminishing the value of moviegoing. And three, which connects both 1 and 2 together better, and that's the fact that people aren't in a rush anymore to see things on opening weekends. There is no mad dash to see anything. I mean, sure, there are still some folks like me out there, but to the average person, they'll see it when they see it, proving that there's not enough value in what's being offered to command attention.
One of the biggest things I think movie theaters should do, or movies to get people in the theater, is show the director's cut. Show the director's cut in theaters and nowhere else. You cannot watch the director's cut on DVD down the road. You cannot watch the director's cut on a streaming service down the road. You put the best value, the longest, best cut, director's cut in the theaters. The hardest of the hardest people will go watch it, and that is where people will like to see it, on the big screen. You ever hear the people that say, oh, you got to watch it on IMAX. You got to watch it on IMAX. Christopher Nolan knows what he's doing with movies. Hence why he's making The Odyssey, and it's shot all on the IMAX, because he knows what he needs to make. He's trying to bring people into the IMAX theaters, okay? There's not IMAX theaters all over the place. There's very few IMAX theaters in the entire world, okay? He's shooting the entire movie in IMAX. You got to bring people to the theaters. Sitting here like a living room with a lot of seats doesn't make you a theater very good. You got to bring people back. How? Figure it out.
And ticket sales.
Hey, Jesus, I found you.
You did.
Are you happy that I found you?
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you about movies?
Sure.
How do you feel about modern
Jesus is laid back, man.
day movies?
I don't really watch them. I kind of just stick to the old stuff because everything's just
Old Testament guy.
remakes and remasters of the same old thing, or they ruin the original.
Thanks, Jesus. How do people feel
Good old Jesus.
about today's superhero films? How do people feel about movies being made today?
I've got mixed feelings. I think there's some really solid movies coming out.
Well, you're absolutely correct, Jones. We don't have to go down the rabbit hole. I'm saying director's cut because when I say director's cut, it would be a theatrical cut, right? The theatrical cut would be different. But what happens is they show the movie in the theaters, and then the director's cut is when it's on DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, whatever you want to call it. So my terminology is I'm trying to let you guys know what it is. A director's cut, the longer version, right? Their vision of what it is, that should be in theaters. It should be reversed. Not what is in the theaters and then a director's cut later. It should be the director's cut, which is the theatrical release, in the theater, and then just the normal movie, right, that comes to Blu-ray or the streaming service, because then you're missing something. You want to find the whole context out or see all the things that were cut, then you have to go to the theater to watch it, is what I was trying to say.
And a lot of acceptable movies coming out.
Both franchises have had their downslopes. Marvel with the Multiverse Saga kind of got a little fishy, and the whole DCEU was a little bit of a disaster.
They could be a little bit better than they are.
It's that bloated feeling, per se.
I answered your question why it's called the director's cut and theatrical cut. The theater is the cut for the theater. After the fact, it has to come up to runtime, right? So they look at it for financial reasons. So, like Peter Jackson had a longer director's cut for Lord of the Rings where each movie is like 3 hours long, right? Or three and a half hours long. But they put the 2 hour or 2.5 or 3 hour movie in the theater, but it's longer on the DVD. Okay, because no one's going to sit in the theater that long. So they do the director's cut afterwards.
Like it's done too much now.
If a superhero movie is coming out, just get James Gunn to direct it.
No, they're all shit. All the movies. Pretty much. They just.
Now that guy was, he was confident.
Just get James Gunn to direct it.
No, they're all shit. All the movies. Pretty much.
They just. There's always a drive to push something in the movie at this point, instead of just enjoyment.
I think the genre is a little tired right now. I think it's been oversaturated, and a lot of movies have come out in a short amount of time, and maybe some of them weren't as great as they could have been.
They're all over the place right now. It's a little oversaturated. They're trying to do the same thing. I think there's a lack of direction right now.
I am reveling in their downfall. Every single day I go.
It's nice to it's nice to hear him say, "I want to see the downfall." It fits the character.
I think there's a lack of direction right now.
I am reveling in their downfall. Every single day I go and check the newest Marvel or especially DC films. When I saw the Flash bomb, dude, I got so hammered in happiness. I was overjoyed.
When you
Some people just want to see the world burn.
ask everyone, even the people who love the current MCU and everything else that takes.
Wizard, watch out. Watch out over your shoulder. You have a dinosaur. There's a raptor.
Theaters to provide specifics on why things aren't performing as well as they used to, the answers are extremely diverse.
Given the last few years, it's been like superhero movie after superhero movie after superhero movie, where like compared to like years ago, it didn't used to be like that. You'll get like one every now and then. The issue is that.
Hold up. Stop it. Stop it. You're saying something. You're talking about. I gotta rewind again. I'm being very critical of Captain and Spider-Man. Captain America, Spider-Man. Okay. I gotta hear what he says again, and then I'll comment.
Given the last few years, it's been like superhero movie after superhero movie after superhero movie, where like compared to like years ago, it didn't used to be like that. You'll get like one every now and then.
Stop it. You are coping super hard. The last couple years, the movies were less than the movies that came out in 2008 and 2009 and 10 and 11 and 12. There was like 3 to 4 fucking movies a year coming out to cram it all in between all the Avenger films and Endgame. Like, there was a shit. How many movies between 2008? How many Marvel films? How many Marvel films between 2008 and 2019? 23 films between 2008 and 2019. This guy is saying that, well, they're coming out every month, one after another. That's what they were doing before, but you liked it before. And because you liked it before, it was okay. But now, because you don't like them, it's too much.
Issue is superhero movie after superhero movie, where like compared to like years ago, it didn't used to be like that. You'll get like one every now and then.
The issue is that all superhero movies try to be the same thing: family-friendly action comedy movies, right? And I think if we saw movies branch,
which they don't have anymore, by the way,
out into more genres, we'd see more people watch them.
I think after the pandemic, I think a lot of people are just nervous about being around a lot of large people.
He's standing in a convention saying this. He's standing in a convention while saying this. Come on, bro.
I think after the pandemic, I think a lot of people are just nervous about being around a lot of large people.
Would you say there's less people in the theater than at a Comic-Con or Galaxy-Con, whatever the hell it is?
A lot of people work these days, so they don't have the time to, take.
A lot of people worked back in those days as well.
can sit around with their families and watch movies, but I definitely think we should get back to it and sit down and enjoy movies.
Because people take critics' things, even if it's a big critic and they don't watch.
Is he Jack Black from what's that? Labre, whatever the hell, Nacho Libre. Is he Nacho Libre? I just put the two and two together.
Families and watch movies, but I definitely think we should get back to it and sit down and enjoy movies.
Because people take critics' things, even if it's a big critic and they don't watch the movie and they say, well, this is horrible, I don't like it. Someone's gonna follow off of that because people.
I like based. This kid has been confident about everything he said the entire time when they asked him.
Feed off of what critics say.
Probably because they keep remaking movies instead of trying exploring new characters. It just seems to be like, for example, Fantastic Four has been made multiple times, and they just remade that.
Why aren't people going to superhero movies?
Hold on a second. I checked my phone. She said something which is interesting because she said she hasn't seen a lot of the movies.
Someone's gonna follow off of that because people feed off of what critics say.
Probably because they keep remaking movies instead of trying exploring new characters.
The last one she said she saw was Venom 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know, did she not see Miss Marvel, Ironheart, Daredevil? I take Daredevil back. She-Hulk, Madam Web. There's plenty of things that they made from new characters that nobody liked. Now that I said that to you, listen to her again.
Probably because they keep remaking movies instead of trying exploring new characters.
They're exploring new characters that nobody wants. They haven't remade an actual a movie yet. We're not in that stage yet. We haven't seen the new Iron Man and the new Thor and the new Captain America. Well, I take that back. Captain America we've seen.
Just seems to be like, for example, Fantastic Four has been made multiple times, and they just remade that.
Why aren't people going to superhero movies? Are you sure about that? It's the critic's fault. There's too many. There's not enough. Heroes are too powerful.
Well, I got to hear his little thing here.
It's the critic's fault. There's too many.
Yep.
There's
critic's fault. Too many.
Not enough.
Not
Heroes
enough.
are too powerful.
Too powerful.
Heroes aren't powerful enough.
Yep.
The characters are boring. The actors change too much. There's too many remakes. The writing is weak. There's an agenda to be promoted in the writing. The story ended for me after Endgame, and many more simple.
There's 1,000 things. I stubbed my toe to the theater. I didn't like the popcorn prices. I didn't like their costumes. I thought the writing was bad. I thought the writing was too good. I thought the seats were uncomfortable. I thought the theater, right? There's 1,000 things you can say why people are not going.
Points. I'd like to add my own. After 2018 or so, the studios thought they knew better than everyone else and stopped listening to what customers wanted. They started making movies and spin-offs for unpopular characters.
100%. I agree with everything you're saying right now, Fake Wizard.
And or passing the baton to replacement heroes. The television series on Disney Plus created an extra layer of required effort for.
Yes. This, I think, is the fall of Marvel. The shows. If the shows came out and they were just awesome, none of us is having a conversation then. But the shows came out and they were mediocre. And then mediocre. And then mediocre. And they said that you had to watch this to get the most out of it. And then nothing came from it. And that, I think, is one of the bigger problems with Marvel. Not movie theaters, but with Marvel.
For viewers, and because the quality of these shows was middling at best, the outcome led to audience polarization. The licensing issues with Spider-Man in 2019 was not endearing nor exciting, and all of the drama outside the films themselves leads to more confusion for normal.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with this as well.
Moviegoers, and not reassurance or trust, especially at a time when the whole franchise felt like it concluded. Then there are the other studios like Sony who tried to cash in with their own totally phoned-in series slop films. There's a strong argument to be made.
Was that Kraven the Hunter? I heard that was garbage.
That the Sonyverse garbage reduced the perceived value of the entire genre. More does not equal good. Then we look at DC, whose leadership was and always has been too busy measuring each other's cucumbers, which I personally believe have pickled, to actually.
DC's on a completely different level. DC is eating within. They're eating their own within. They can't get on the same page right now. DC is fighting between Gunn and Snyderverse. Right? They're like fighting within. They're like siblings that can't get along.
Actually focus on putting a cohesive plan in place of how to move their stories forward. The DCEU, whether you like it or not, is and was too polarizing as a business model. Aquaman is the only film to break a bill.
Think about that. Think about this. Superman, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, okay? The Justice League, Shazam, the other Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, okay? All of these things, nothing. Look at the drop here. Holy Christ. 2013, you're like, yeah, this looks good. This looks good. Then they had this, looking good. And then, bum. You know what happened here? This right here is the downfall, is the Martha scene. You know what I'm talking about. Martha. Why did you say that? Why did you say Martha? Completely destroyed the entire Snyderverse. And then Aquaman, the one and only superhero everyone made fun of as a child because he talked to fish. So much so that HBO Entourage made a spoof about Aquaman. And I think maybe because they did that, they actually thought Aquaman would be funny to make, and they made him badass because of it. I don't know. Who knows? But that's the only movie that's made $1 billion. And then look, $1 billion to what? 200 million? Oh my God, what a crater this is. DC. I think right now we're at this point. Superman, take Superman 2013 and bring Superman 2025 in and just superimpose it on here. That's where you are right here. It's going to have around the same amount of for Superman, for the new Superman, as the starting point yet again. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens after this with Supergirl, right? Because Supergirl could do this. And then you have Clayface. Yeah, maybe down. Who knows?
$1 billion. The feud happening right now between Gunn and Snyder fans is not going to evangelize normie viewers into seeing new DC movies. It's going to make them say, I don't want anything to do with that. But there's more to be said. The quality of films hitting theaters across the entire Hollywood zeitgeist became debatably boring.
Agreed. A lot of movies are just boring.
Boring is the word. Kind of bad, not great, instantly forgettable, and lots of times unsatisfyingly pointless. It wasn't superhero movies alone that experienced a decline in viewership. It's the entire box office.
Yep.
Oh, and the comic book industry itself continued and continues to this very day to tell stories for audiences that have single-digit persons inside of them. Comic books don't have the pull they did 2 decades ago.
No, they're nothing. They're selling like 30, 40,000 copies, if that. For Marvel, for DC, where they used to sell 300,000.
Local comic book shops close all the time, sadly. And in January of this year,
here's a perfect example. Theaters need to do what comic book stores did. There's comic book shops there that used to just be comic books, okay? But where do comic book shops make the most money from? They make the most money from bringing people in and selling Pokemon cards, Magic cards, and they have tabletop nights, and people come in and they hang out there, buy snacks, have a community. They're not just there for comics anymore. They're there for the comics, the board games, the community, to talk to the people, to have, conversations with people that they know are like them because they're in the comic book, right? Imagine a movie theater doing the exact same thing as a comic book shop, because a comic book shop that's just selling comics, not going to make it. But a comic book shop turning half their store into tabletop games and Pokemon stuff, they make it. Why? Because they've turned a corner. They're not just selling comics. They're selling an experience. They're selling a moment to be there. Why? To talk to your friends, to talk to strangers about comics and geek stuff and gaming.
Diamond filed for bankruptcy. Streaming is convenient and cheap. The movie theaters are far away, expensive, the floors are sticky, and the people are distracting. And though there are plenty more points that can be and should be considered here, like how all the marketing material of the last 5 years has been abysmal, and the press and access media journalism is nauseating, They all contribute to a single phrase that sums up this entire discussion. It's not special anymore. Yeah, movies, and specifically superhero movies, are not special to all audiences anymore. In 1978, we got Christopher Reeve's Superman, 89 Batman. From 1998 with the first Blade movie all the way through X-Men and Spider-Man, these were all special. Every cape film.
They were special because they were new. They were the first of its kind. Now everything is the same, right? Everything feels the same.
Was special. Take us to Iron Man 2008 and the early Avengers. That level of interest only compounded and grew. See, originally, the children that grew up with comic books got to experience their heroes come to life on the big screen, yes, but they also got to take the children of the 90s and 2000s, their...
In my review of Fantastic Four, I didn't say this in the review, but I said this the other day when I was talking about it. It feels like it's supposed to be in Phase 1. And I don't mean like it feels that way, like the storyline fits in Phase 1. I'm talking like the movie fits like they made it the same time like they were making Iron Man 1 and Thor. It feels like they get it. They understand what the Fantastic Four was supposed to do, and it's just this thing, right? And it does feel like it's supposed to be in Phase 1. I think IGN wrote an article, or someone wrote an article yesterday about the same thing, right? It feels like it's supposed to be in there.
Children to the theaters with them. Superhero films were a 1, 2, or 3 time yearly tradition that crossed family and demographic lines. Take us through MCU phases 2 and 3, and now we've crossed into where gender and age absolutely don't matter either. Superhero films were for everyone. All the characters were household names. It was a form of modern-day mythology, and really, it always has been. People find the virtues in superpowered heroes that they themselves don't possess, and that's partially why we find them interesting. We can look at superheroes and recognize that they have all these strange abilities we'll never have, but we can empathize with the humanity each character possesses. After 2019, it all started to change. We started getting films and shows that contributed more towards characters' selfish ideals, their more hedonistic intentions, rather than sacrifice and selflessness, and not all the time, but often enough where it stopped being special. The amount of content being made, not even movies or television anymore, it was all being classified as content, and that content was more like homework assignments than actually satisfying entertainment. We've had movies and shows that studios knew were terrible, but due to contractual obligations, they had to release them. That didn't help secure customer interest. We're at a place now today where Superman and Fantastic Four, arguably 2 legacy properties that kickstarted the entire comic book industry.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. Superman and Fantastic Four. They're the first family. Marvel started, right? Like, this is it. These 2 franchises are like the 2 starting points of these things, and they can't bring enough people into the theater. It's kind of like full circle, right? It's kind of like full circle. Because back in the day when these comic books came out, they probably didn't have millions and millions of people that liked reading the Superman comic or the Marvel comic. It was the geeks. It was the small minority that liked these things, and then it started getting more popular and more popular and more popular.
Are in theaters right now, and the response from superfans is that these movies are incredible, which is unreliably disingenuous. The response from online detractors is that these are the worst films ever made, which again is unreliably disingenuous. And so the
agreed. Let me rewind what he just said there for both those things.
And the response from superfans is that these movies are incredible.
The tens. These movies are the greatest things ever created. Tens.
Which is unreliably disingenuous.
Correct.
The response from online detractors is that these are the worst films ever made.
Which is zeros, ones, twos. These are the worst movies ever. Which is also, like he's saying, bullshit.
Made, which again is unreliably disingenuous. And so the normie audience member, who frankly matters a lot on the road to $1 billion, either doesn't care to see these films at all, or they're walking out and going,
yep,
it was all right.
The only fatigue I believe in is from the gym.
Is superhero fatigue?
If they do that, Eclipse, if that's true, that is the end. That is the end of comic books for decades. If it comes out and they're teaming up Marvel and DC to do whatever, and it fails, it's over. Over. And the bad part is, if it succeeds, where do you go from there? Where do you go from there?
Real? Yes. No. It's a complex question. Is it bad movie fatigue? Perhaps. I'm personally sick of bad movies myself.
I'm sick of bad movies as well.
Resolution here is that it's not audience members' fault for not going to theaters. It's not the customer's fault when they're not interested in buying something anymore.
Correct.
It's the company's fault.
100%.
It's the business. The business is the one making the product. If there is no marketplace there to buy said product, that's on the business for squandering a flourishing market that they once had. People buy things that make them feel special, that make them feel positive feelings. People line up outside of theaters for days.
People, when they say that theaters are like packed and there's so many people, my theater's packed, you don't know what the fuck packed means. Okay? I'm talking about when you went to a movie theater back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Even when Marvel came out, forget that. Even when Marvel came out, and there'll be a line out the goddamn door waiting for the next theater to fill up. Okay? There'll be people that snuck into a theater and stand there to watch the film because they would rather watch it standing than actual sitting. Okay? That's not happening today. That's not happening in any of the movies today. That's not happening in any way, shape, way, or form.
When they know what's about to air inside that theater is something that's going to make them feel something. People go back to the theater 2 and 3 times just to relive that excitement they felt seeing something for the first time. Do you do that anymore? If you go to the theater at all, how often do you legitimately find the time to go see something more than once?
Yeah, lines around the block. That's not happening now. When you walk up to a theater, you're like, is this open? There's no one in here. There's only like one person working behind the counter. It's also the ticket counter, which is also the snack bar counter, which is also the person cleaning up the theater. Like, if they were making money and there was a crap ton of employees there, there would be a crap ton of people there. That's not happening.
If it made you feel special, you would. What can companies do to get butts back in seats at theaters? In our interviews, people said that ticket prices should be lowered, that theaters needed more offerings.
I think I knew that person. Hold on a second.
If it made you feel special, you would. What can companies do to get butts back in seats at theaters? In our interviews, people said that ticket prices should be lowered, that theaters needed more offerings to make it more appealing. We also heard that studios need to make better films. But I think the best thing they can do is... Well, actually, I don't really care. I don't really care that people aren't giving Disney money or Warner Brothers money. I don't care that they can't figure out how to sell to me and you. That's on them.
Yeah, see, I don't care about the studios making the film. I care about the theaters. Okay? I care about not even AMC or Regal. I just want movie theaters to be around. It's a place to go, a thing to do. If they change the way movie theaters are, fundamentally that could bring people back to the movies because they're not just focusing on movies, right? A movie theater right now is just a big living room. They need to make more like an actual playroom, something that people come and watch. The events that Netflix did when they take over the theaters and they have like the food, the thematic stuff, like they make it feel special to go watch the Squid Games or Bridgerton and stuff like that. That is something that could be interesting for a lot of people.
They need to work that out. I'm not interested in helping them. I'm the buyer. And I believe buyers need to wrestle back control of the entertainment marketplace. Lots of people complain about being unable to fight back against corporations.
Stop buying the stuff. Stop buying stuff. Stop buying the video game. Stop buying the book. Stop buying or stop watching the movie. Stop watching. Stop doing the streaming services. Stop buying. You want them to listen, then all you have to do is stop buying. If you want things to change, you have to stop spending money.
You know that withholding your money makes their knees weak? I think they deserve everything they get for taking audiences for granted. I also believe that we need more competition in the marketplace. I want to see new ideas and new characters, and for people to learn how to tell stories themselves. I want people to read Joseph Campbell and Aristotle and start writing their own ideas and creations. I'm sick of seeing remakes and retreads of legacy properties. I'm done with legacies. I want something more, and I'm fairly certain that a lot of you feel similarly. Your money talks. Don't give it to these companies. Don't go to movies unless you can quantifiably say that the people you're giving your money to have truly earned it. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire others to do the same, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus. This was a long one. My voice is shot. Okay, bye-bye.
A 30-minute video. It's good. It's good. Go give it a like. Go give it a like. All right. Links in the description below. Give it a comment. Give it a like. Go check out The Real Fake Wizard. Okay. I'm sorry. The Real Life Fake Wizard. I always forget the life part. The Real Life Fake Wizard. Go check them out. Yeah, movie theaters are in trouble, man. Right? People look at theaters like there's a place by us over here called Cinepolis, I think it's called, and it's a high-end movie theater chain. Well, it's not even a chain. It's got maybe a couple, but they charge way too much. They elevate, but going in there, it's like, why are they charging more? Because their seats recline at a 15 more degree angle than the other theater. It doesn't make any sense. So a lot of people don't go there, but it's also in the clientele area. It's about 12 and a half, 13 miles from me. And that whole area is like being built up for brand new families and stuff like that. People that actually like have higher house incomes, right? So they're leaning more towards that. But overall, most movie theaters, they all have recliners. If they're, upgraded in the last couple of years, they all have digital projectors. They all have those types of things, but that's not bringing people back in. They have to do something different to bring people back in. That's the theater's responsibility. Now, as far as the movies go, the studios need to do better. They need to make better films. They need to stop making rehashes of old movies. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, that's a movie I saw 30 years ago. Why am I watching it, the sequel of the thing that they couldn't even change the name. They call it the exact same thing they did 30 years ago. They're so boring. They're so predictable. There's no new movies. Whole sections in my video that I talk about are gone. There's no rom-coms. There's no comedies out there anymore. There's no dramas anymore. It's just superhero film, big blockbuster films. That's all they put inside the stuff, right? They don't give it to anybody else. And the only reports that I ever talk about, they don't talk about any other movie other than the big blockbuster. Just like the video game industry doesn't talk about the big AAA studios, okay? They don't talk about the independent studios. They don't talk about the independent games. They don't talk about the independent movies. They just talk about the big stuff. Why? Because the big stuff pays the bills for those outlets. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you liked the Real Life Fake Wizards video, make sure you go hit that like button. If you like what I do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We are done for today. I do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We'll be back tonight for Shooting the Shit with Sarge. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're playing some Grounded 2 this evening. So come on by tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming. Go check out Nerding with 30. And at 1 o'clock in about 30 minutes, I have a video going up about live service games. Love them. Hate them, but we keep playing. Check that out at 1 p.m. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tuned in daily, don't you miss? Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too. We've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning blaze, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too. We've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Laughs and news, our winning blend. The show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats arrive. The daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss? Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases